It'll happen someday. She'll forget about you. She'll forget about all your lies for her own slice of truth. I swear I miss you from happy days past. Back when I always thought love would always last. Oh, I hope heaven. Oh, I hope heaven. Oh, I hope heaven finds you. Regret
those of the host and other contributors. These do not necessarily represent those of Liberty Acquisitions 825, Blue Water Broadcasting, its management, staff, or any advertisers. It's time for Montgomery's conversational radio show. It's News and Views on News Talk 93.1 FM. To join the conversation, call 272-9228.
Welcome into the program. Thank God for another beautiful day. Hopefully it'll be a beautiful show, and Montgomery needs a new mayor. I think the synthesizer agrees with me. Eddie Bader here in the studio with me. How you doing?
Pretty good. How you doing this morning, buddy?
Great, actually. Better than I deserve.
That's what I hear.
So let's kick things off the right way as we do on Thursdays and talk to Erica Thomas with 1819 News. Erica, how are you?
Howdy, Joey. I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm great. Like I said, better than I deserve. And I know you've been doing reporting in other parts of the state, but I want to start with the flood at the old State House because I love the framing of 1819 News. Who wrote that up? I think Caleb did. Where it was like the complete opposite of what a lot of Democrats online were saying. Where they were, what Jamel Jermaine Brown was saying, like, oh, see, this is what God doesn't like you messing with his people.
Ugly. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, State House flooding ends Democrat filibuster on redistricting.
That's what it took.
Yeah.
Literally, that's what it took.
Right. So, I mean, are you sad, happy that you're not here in Montgomery getting to cover this craziness? What's your take on all this, Eric?
Look, I'm always happy for every day that I do not spend in Montgomery, and I really hate to say that, but it's just the truth. I lived there for a year. My first 10 days, within 10 days of me living there back in 2000, I think it was 2008, 2009, something like that, I heard my first shooting ever, and I came from Birmingham, so that's kind of crazy. I saw the shooting victim with my own eyes at my own apartment complex. And so I never had the best impression of Montgomery from day one. But then when you go and you cover Montgomery, it's very eye-opening, and I'm very thankful for that opportunity that I got because of 1819 News. But, yeah, I'm not envious of Caleb and Craig, who are in there day in and day out. God love them. I mean, just God love them. You pray, and I feel like the flood is pretty symbolic for God to send something like that,
Yeah, and what a goalie washer. That was a heck of a storm.
I know it. We're in Titus, we got 4 inches at my house. I don't know how much they got here, but it was quite a bit.
I was about 4. I was at the church, and the priest made me leave.
Really?
Yeah, I'm glad he did when it started coming down.
I feel like you brought this wrath upon the church? Is that what it was?
No, I think it was just a storm. But I was like, yeah. Well, I was ready to tough it out in the church.
Of course you were. You felt a little protected there, right?
Go home.
Wow.
All right.
Okay. So maybe that wasn't the best idea for you to leave during a flood, but okay.
Oh, no, I left it before it started coming down.
It came down pretty quickly. Good. About 4:30, I think, here's when I noticed Montgomery was about dark.
I got home about 4:20.
Oh, perfect.
Nice.
I mean, either way, it's so good to see Alabama getting this rain. We are still in a drought. As of today, we are still in a drought. There's actually some parts of Alabama that are in a level 4 out of 4 for drought, which is exceptional drought. That's the highest level of drought you can get into. That's according to the Alabama Forestry Commission. I don't have a story on this yet. I'm working on one. But I think it's crazy we saw that much rain. We're still statewide in a drought.
It really is insane. Like the amount that was coming down within just those few hours. And, the fact I still had a hole in my roof. Whatever.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, no.
And just added to the bill. Now, I want to shift to some of what you've been covering. In particular, it's the lead story there. And now this is a local story, but it's so interesting, like what gets folks to show up to city council meetings.
Ooh.
And this is Orange Beach
really
Mayor hears from concerned citizens over proposed Dolly Parton Pirates Voyage dinner theater. People were concerned
That's a
over
mouthful.
the
Sorry.
Dolly Parton Pirates Voyage dinner theater.
What was there to be concerned about? That sounds exciting.
I don't know.
Can you imagine living in a city where that's your biggest problem? Like that? Wow.
No, I can't.
What a
We're-
blessing.
We're in
What a
Montgomery. We have much bigger problems than that.
Yeah. Can you imagine a Dolly Parton Pirates Voyage dinner show in Montgomery? That would be interactive, I'm sure.
That would be.
Yeah, what an experience. Gee. So, yeah, I mean, this is something they're very concerned about. Now, you do have to think Orange Beach, when you think of Orange Beach, you think of high quality of life.
Right.
You know, these are high-end folks over here. In fact, last night, y'all are going to love this part. During Tony Kennon, the mayor, he had a presentation, and during that, he put up a picture of the beach, and it just showed a bunch of flags. One of the flags was a Confederate flag, people just trashing the beach.
Yep.
And he said, "We are no longer the redneck Riviera." So I guess Orange Beach has entered into a new era of, you know, just moving on from that and being better than that. Because even a long time ago, Tony Kennon said he used redneck Riviera in his campaign speeches, that sort of thing. But he said that is no longer. We're a clean beach. Everything's clean. It's just, I mean, really immaculate. If you've been to Orange Beach, you know that. Everything is just very managed, I would say. And so this new development, and this is not in for sure yet. It's not written in stone yet. The property in question is south of the Intracoastal Waterway, which means it's actually on the island where there are always traffic issues. And so that's the number one concern that people have about this coming. Even those that want this Voyage dinner, Pirate Voyage dinner, they want it to be moved to north of the ICW. But this is private property that's under contract for $14 million. So, you know, it's not that the city is choosing where to put this and that it's even coming here. This is private developers coming in, the Dolly Parton Company coming in, purchasing this property and planning the PUD on it. So the city can only do so much. That's kind of what Tony Kennon outlined last night, and I did embed the entire video at the bottom of the story. I mean, it was a very long meeting. A lot of people came forward. There are also concerns about environment, drainage, that sort of thing. So we'll see where it goes. The next step will be for the Planning Commission to take up the issue next week, and then, you know, they will vote on it and then send that to the council, and we'll see what happens on June 2nd.
And what is the Dolly Parton Pirates Voyage dinner theater? Is it like they dress up like pirates, serve you dinner, and sing and
I
stuff?
think there's got to be one person that's a star, like a Dolly Parton knockoff or something, right?
I don't know about that because, you know, it's very similar to Dixie Stampede. It's just a different theme. So Dixie Stampede is where there's a bunch of horses running around and they feed you and they do this amazing show. They sing. Pirates Voyage dinner, it appears to be very similar to that, except for, you know, it's not a stampede. It's pirates.
Yeah, I wonder how many folks wanted to make it like in Nashville, and they ended up, you know, going from franchise to franchise for the Dolly Parton Pirates Voyage dinner theater.
Yeah, I mean, it looks extremely entertaining, like Cirque du Soleil type things. This is obviously a family-friendly dinner show. There's water involved. They do like high dives and such. Some people are saying there's actually seals involved in the show, so that's interesting. But
Seals?
if you want to see one, you can go see a show. They have them in Myrtle Beach, Pigeon Forge, and Panama City Beach already. And the one in Panama City Beach, they're also hearing complaints about traffic. So we'll see what happens.
I love the locals. I can hear their concern. If I lived down there, I might be one of them doing the same complaint. But it's like, stop changing stuff, dadgummit. Stop it. Yeah. You're just making everything busy. Like, isn't that kind of the point?
Yeah, that's very true. But then again, private property.
Right. Yes. I tend to side on that side as well.
Yes. A lot of people like property rights when it comes to themselves, but not for others.
Indeed.
Right.
Now, again, folks, we're talking to Erica Thomas with 1819 News. What is smishing?
Oh, my gosh, I just love this story. And you know why I love this story? Because this is a consumer warning. And this is a story that everybody needs to hear. And smishing just sounds hilarious, does it not?
Yeah.
But it's just basically a text scam. I mean, people are getting these scams from all different kinds of places in a text message telling you, you owe money, or you're going to be arrested, or you have a court-ordered appearance. If you want to avoid going to court, just scan this QR code, pay here. So as I was writing this story, I got one.
Oh, wow.
What? Is that not so crazy? So if you go to 1819news.com, I took a screenshot on my phone for that photo, because as I was writing the story, I kind of walked away from doing the story. I was like, I'll finish this in a little bit. And then I looked at my phone and I had one. And it says it's from the Jefferson County Traffic Division, which is crazy because I used to live in Jefferson County. Now I live in Baldwin County. But I kind of knew something was up when it said failure to pay electronic toll and toll evasion. Because Jefferson County doesn't have any toll roads that I don't think this is right. So that was a dead giveaway. But, I mean, other than that, y'all go look at 1819news.com at this story. This document looks like a legitimate court document. It has a case number. It has the seal of Alabama on it. I mean, they obviously, did a lot of work getting this. And they even put on there the date of my infraction was May 5th. And that I had 24 hours before I had to go to court. I mean, it was crazy. And I'm not the only one in Baldwin County that's gotten this. There's people, Orange Beach Police Department shared the exact photo that I got. They also received.
Oh, no, and the amount of scams out there, I've not heard of this one.
They're everywhere.
But, yeah, honestly, official letterhead doesn't impress me. It's
you can't anymore. You can't take, everybody has a computer and a printer.
Exactly. They got to come up with something new to, show authenticity. Yep. But, and it's crazy, my luck is I'll, ignore one, and now I got a bench warrant.
You can use some time in jail.
No.
It'd do you good.
Not with this hair.
I'll probably ignore them, too, now. But, I mean, the thing is, you just call, they say to call the source directly.
Yeah.
Don't call any number that they give you. Go Google what their number is. But what concerns me is the elderly people that get this. I mean, you see all these infractions I thought I was cited for doing. That could give you a heart attack, first of all. Second of all, my grandparents, they probably would think this is legit because look at it.
Most people would. And you got to figure, just that 50% of them fall for it.
Yeah.
Free money.
The good news is they're using this QR code, and it says scan to pay. I couldn't even figure out how to do that. So hopefully, that'll help with the elderly people not being able to do that.
Now, moving to another story, and by the way, I see it living with my grandfather, the amount of scams. I check his phone all the time, and it's insane.
It's insane, and
emails
there's nothing being done.
Right.
Nothing.
Right, and the scam calls as well.
Yeah, that's what I'm really talking about. You can be on the do not call list. All that does is double your chances to be called.
And luckily, he's pretty wise to it, but daggone.
Yeah.
And Joey, you have to be super careful because now with AI, they can take your voice and recreate your voice.
Oh, yeah.
And call him, and he will think it is you.
Yeah,
so, you have to warn him. That's all we can do is warn people, Just warn.
Code word, man. Pancakes.
It's not a good code word.
You don't think so?
No, because you just said it publicly.
Oh.
Oh, yeah. Well, I was about to say mine. Glad I didn't.
Now, there's another story here from my old school.
Yeah.
$21 million investment to bring high-tech manufacturing jobs to Auburn?
What are we bringing to Auburn?
Yes. So there's already a facility over there. It's this Korean automotive electronic system supplier, Duck IL USA.
Mm-hmm.
They are expanding that operation. It's over at the technology. They have like a business park type thing, technology park. They're going to expand with $21 million. It's only going to add 20 jobs, but really, in the grand scheme of things, this is a big deal for Auburn because this will generate even more, taxes, direct and indirect, for the city. And they say that they will use a lot of those tax dollars to improve stuff that people really care about, which is public safety, transportation, schools, recreational programs, and just kind of public services. So they're touting this as a huge investment. They're very excited about what it will bring to Auburn. And of course, Alabama's kind of become like, a real big state for auto suppliers, and this is one of those. So they make the little switches in your car that are electronic switches for, like, your seat, to move your seat, that sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
They make them for Chrysler, GM, Hyundai, Kia, and Tesla. I didn't know Tesla would have such a switch. I thought it would be like you tell it to do something and it does it. But
you think it, and it does it. That's what's supposed to happen.
You think it.
So I suppose, I don't know if you know this term, Eddie, but I suppose we could say, what is it?
감사합니다.
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 Yeah, I know that
Thank
term
you.
well. Yeah. Also means hello, goodbye, get out of my face.
Yeah.
Whatever you want to say. Yeah.
It's a lot better than, thank you.
I don't think so, Joey.
Yeah.
A thank you sounds very sincere.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
Instead of you going, 감사합니다. Yeah, probably right.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, that's good.
Right. I don't know that one, so.
Eddie used to work over at the
Hyundai
plant, and so he knows all about the Korean suppliers.
I love the Korean suppliers.
Okay, gotcha.
Love the Koreans. Some of my favorite people.
I know some, like, I can communicate a little bit with the Vietnamese ladies that work at the nail salon, because one of my friends was, her sister had a nail salon, and she worked there, and they were from Vietnam, but she taught me how to say thank you. So a lot of times I'll sit and have my pedicure, and the ladies will be talking back and forth. I don't know what they're saying, and then at the end I'll say, come on, which means thank you. And they're just kind of shocked that I know that. Really, that's all I know. But they don't know that.
Right.
They probably think, she just heard everything we said about her. I always think that's kind of funny.
I love it.
I have an off-the-wall question.
Yeah, okay, go ahead. Eddie's just about to burst with a question over here.
Okay, something I noticed about nail salons. I thought they would smell good in there. They stink like burning toenails. What's up with that? Can they not do anything about that? It's the worst smell ever. I was going to go in there and get some stuff done. It's like,
I think it's also the cleaner, like
it just smells like
polish
burnt toenails.
itself.
Erica,
it's the acrylic mostly. The acrylic is extremely strong. They have also the nail polish remover. It's kind of like an alcohol smell. I think it smells great.
Yeah, that smells great. That's not what I was smelling. I was smelling bad feet and burn up toenails.
Which place did you go to?
Didn't we Tumpka there?
You're smelling acrylic. It's the acrylic.
I need to try a higher end place.
I
got you.
Yeah,
I'm glad I can answer your random questions, Eddie.
Thank you so much, Erica.
Now, I got to hit this other one, too, while we're just on a roll here. Author of Alabama Police Officer Training claims copyright infringement by the U.S. Army.
What?
Oh, wow. That's another mouthful. Sorry about that. Yes. So I talked to this guy for a long time, and anybody in law enforcement knows that to be a police officer or deputy in Alabama, you have to be A-Post certified.
Right.
That's Alabama Peace Officer Standards and Training Commission. Well, so that takes a long time to say, sorry. Back in 1997, this guy, Johnny Lee Smith, he wrote that training. In 2024, Alabama adopted it. And he went around and he's been training people in the Army and just people statewide for different states, police departments, that sort of thing. He went and did that, and then all of a sudden he noticed, wait, in this new Army instructor guide, they absolutely copied all of my stuff out of my book. Because once you sign up for the training, you pay for it.
Right.
And then you get the manual. And he is claiming that manual has been copyrighted. And, I mean, almost word for word, if you look at the screen grabs I got from some of this, you'll see the category and chapter names are absolutely the same. And then you go through the photos. They took photos in the exact position that he had photos in his manual. So, I mean, I believe he does have a case, and he said that the Army has already offered a settlement, but he said that was nothing compared to what they've done. You know, this is his livelihood.
Yeah.
This is his life's work.
That's insane. And it's got to be like the amount of money lost was massive.
The amount of money he's fixing to get, I got a feeling he's going to get a pretty good payday. But I'm glad he spoke up, because I don't know if everybody would have done that.
No, I mean, definitely not. But he said, you know, he's very passionate about this life's work that he's done, and he's taken time away from his wife and kids. He said it took him, you know, years to write all these books that he's written, and he's, you know, stayed away from his family for all that time. So he is not about to let this slide. And, I mean, taking that little settlement, he said, no way. Now, I have reached out to the U.S. Army. They haven't responded to this. Of course, I didn't expect them to, really, because this is a possible legal matter. He hasn't filed a lawsuit yet. He simply wrote them a complaint letter, you know, which is kind of the first step to filing a lawsuit. I definitely expect that will happen in the near future, and we will follow it and see where it goes.
Well, I always appreciate it, Erica, and these minutes flew by. If folks want to check out what you're working on, or maybe give you a lead for a story, how can they do so?
Definitely email me, erica.thomas@1819news.com. And if you go to 1819news.com and you see one of my stories, my email address is there at the bottom. Also there, you will see Don't Miss Out. Subscribe to our newsletter and get our top stories every day. Or you can become a member, gain access to our exclusive content, which are actually becoming extremely popular on social media, with Brian Dawson doing some great podcasts. But you can get that, and most important, you can support what we're doing. If you like what we're doing, please help us out. Even if it's just $5 a month, that will keep us going.
Awesome. Well, and I always, as I said, appreciate it, and God bless. Thank you, Erica.
Thank you. God bless.
272-9228. That's 334-272-9228. We got to hit a break here in a second.
Yeah, I still got questions. I just didn't want to upset Erica.
Yeah? What kind of questions?
Okay,
you wrote them down?
Yes, because I was about to burst. On the private property issue, dude, private property rights extend to everyone.
Right.
I'm sorry that your traffic study or whatever you did 40 years ago is not going to live up to what traffic actually is now.
Right.
But that's not the consumer's fault. That's your fault. And you don't think they're going to make enough money off the taxes?
Right. Well, so when those folks come start complaining about what you're developing on your own private property, you know what you say?
저리 가요.
Let's go away in Korean.
Oh, I didn't know that one.
Yeah.
They just tell you to go home. In Korea, they don't tell you you're fired. They just tell you to go home.
They just tell you to go home?
Yep, go home.
Like, so you've heard this one before?
Oh, many times.
Okay. Yeah, this one does right here.
집에 가다.
Yes.
Really?
Yeah.
I just say that.
Basically, take your butt home.
Jibe gada.
Something to that nature, yeah. Take your butt home.
That's unfortunate.
Not
That's
really, because they really don't want you to leave. As soon as you start going, they come back, oh, wait.
You do have a lot of questions today.
I do, man. That's just kind of ridiculous. What if all of a sudden you've got, and it's not like it's a brand new business. It's something established and doing well in other states.
Yeah. And it sounds like it's a rip-roaring good time. Like people dressed up like
Clean family
pirates
fun.
singing, and apparently there are seals involved.
Yeah, so I mean, I get it that your local person don't want the traffic, but
Yeah.
dude, you can't have a destination place like that and then say, no, we only let these people come in, especially now that we are better than everyone else. We are Orange Beach. Ooh, that just...
I was
You
going
know
to
that
say, did he start speaking French or something?
Oh, that just makes me want to get a plane and drop pea balloons down on them.
Like, I believe Mayor Kennan was accused of being naked one time.
I do remember that, Joe.
You remember that during
Yeah.
the campaign?
Boy, he got classed up,
He
didn't
was
he?
up to something. He wasn't just naked. He was
No,
naked.
he wasn't. He wasn't just streaking. We're streaking, Joey.
No, there was something going on in that condo.
Right.
I'm just making jokes.
But
I have no idea what I'm talking
High
about.
class.
But he won re-election.
Yeah, so I mean, I
but
get
we're
it.
not the redneck Riviera anymore.
No, yes, we are. Yes,
Like the
we-
Floribama's not redneck.
Right.
Sure.
Last time I was down there, it was very redneck, and I enjoyed it.
Yeah. Orange Beach is great. I spent a lot of time down there.
I have an issue when people think suddenly they're better than everybody else, and you know me.
Yeah, you get sensitive about
do.
that sort of thing.
Because I'm better than everybody else.
Right. You've been working very hard at it.
I have.
Anyway, we got to hit this break. First, though, this part of the program brought to you by Dylan Rings, and we're getting down to the wire when it comes to Mother's Day, folks.
Yes, we are,
Down
Joe.
to the wire. And so there at Dylan Rings, what you need to do is just get by there and see what you can find before this weekend. For mom, or it could be, you say, the mother of your child, like your wife. You could be like a sister that you need to get in the good graces of again.
Well, one thing I think about with especially Mom Days is we all know women, especially mothers, they have a ton of jewelry that they don't wear. But, like you were talking about, what if you guys did something special, combined all that jewelry into a special, unique
True
piece?
custom piece.
Yeah.
Josh the Jeweler can make that. And then they're showcasing at Dylan Rings on Facebook that mom deserves diamonds that hug her back.
Ooh.
So they have diamond huggy earrings in white or yellow gold. Limited quantities in stock. Once they're gone, they're gone. So Mother's Day, again, we're getting down to the wire. It's right around the corner. Don't wait. Don't procrastinate. Get by Dylan Rings today. Go shopping there before they sell out.
Yep.
And I'm looking at these, and they're absolutely
beautiful.
luxurious. So if you're looking for something for mom, you can't go wrong going to Dylan Rings. Just stop by 119 Brown Springs Road here in Montgomery, just off of Atlanta Highway. And be sure to tell Josh and Leslie that Joey and Eddie, those fellas on the radio, sent you. We'll be right back.
Want to carry News Talk in your pocket? Download the News Talk 93.1 app from the App Store. Available on iPhone and Android. Never miss a moment. Download now.
Dewan Walker has been an Alabama Power customer since 1999.
We're being squeezed on every side. We hear about Alabama Power freezing their rates. That's the best news we can get. Alabama Power rate freeze will provide real relief for Alabama working families. Alabama Power is protecting their customers by making data centers pay their full costs. It makes me feel at peace. Alabama Power is really stepping up and doing what's right for customers.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
ZipRecruiter.
Hi, this is Bo Goodson from the Goodson Group with your Real Estate Minute. The 5 things to do when you're considering selling your home. Number 1, get a realtor to evaluate your home and that will make suggestions on updates needed for your home, painting suggestions, and staging tips to highlight your home. Number 2, along with the evaluation of the house, you need an updated market analysis that compares your house to other houses for sale and those that have sold. Number 3, do a walk around your own home to see what you could do to improve the curb appeal to potential buyers. Since research tells us that 8 out of 10 home buyers choose the house that they view based on the curb appeal of the home. Number 4, review online the houses that have sold in your neighborhood to see how yours compares with the ones that buyers have chosen. Number 5, if possible, use a CRS certified realtor in your marketplace. For other details, call Bo Goodson at the Goodson Group, 221-2883 or 551-0225.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-478-6430 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-478-6430. That's 800-478-6430. What do you have to lose? Call 800-478-6430. Again, 800-478-6430.
Rich Thomas Weather is brought to you by Wiley Sanders Truck Lines.
Truckers, listen up. A $2,500 sign-on bonus only at Wiley Sanders Truck Lines. Work for a company that puts God and family first. Wiley Sanders Truck Lines, work for the best in the business.
Rich Thomas Weather.
With the risk of showers and storms now moving into southeast Alabama, we'll start to quiet down and dry out. Mostly cloudy today with a high temperature in the upper 70s. Tonight's low in the upper 50s. Then it looks like middle 70s on Friday with the risk of some scattered showers, maybe a thunderstorm by sometime Friday afternoon, Friday evening. But in the overnight hours Friday night, showers and storms become likely. That continues into part of the day on Saturday. Saturday's high temperature up to about 81. Then another round, scattered showers and thunderstorms becoming likely on Mother's Day Sunday with a high in the lower 80s. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
Budget Floors and More has the best prices. Carpet as low as 69 cents per square foot. LVP starting at $1.29 a square foot. Sheet vinyl as low as 65 cents per square foot. And the lowest prices on flooring installation supplies. Budget Floors and More across from Del Rey to Publix.
When news happens, you'll hear about it first. The River Region's most trusted voice. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
By the way, we'll get to the fact that I named this show Crazy Lesbians Should Not Be the Head of Any Church.
Yeah, what's up with that? You throw that out there and we didn't even talk about it.
Oh, we'll get to the clip.
Okay.
We'll get to the clip. But first, let's go to Master Thespian.
Right. Yes, he got a good question.
What's up?
Yeah, man, I'm digging that music. That was cool.
Did it?
Yeah, I hummed something and then came up with that.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Let's keep doing that. I'm having fun enjoying
stop.
all the different iterations. Okay, let me explain what the deal is with the pirate show.
Yes.
It all goes back to Buffalo Bill Cody. Remember, you know who Buffalo Bill Cody is? He's the guy that came up with the idea of the Wild West show.
Oh, yes. Okay. I was thinking putting the lotion in the basket.
No, different guy.
Yeah.
Different guy.
Thanks for clearing that up.
So he had this idea of doing a Wild West show and doing stagecoach, Indians attacking the stagecoach and cavalry charges and all that. So that was a huge deal around the turn of the 20th century. Fast forward to about 25 years ago when the first Dixie Stampede came out. And it was an idea somebody had, hey, let's do a thing where we'll sell dinner. People will come and they'll have dinner, and then they'll watch us do Wild West shows.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that came into that. It went into things like they do a medieval show. There's a castle-themed dinner theater.
Oh yeah, the one
there's
in Atlanta, I think.
A lumberjack show that's in Pigeon Forge. When Dolly bought Dollywood, she was constantly trying to figure out ways to expand and do things. Well, they had a Dixie Stampede, which they now call it Stampede. During George Floyd, they dropped the Dixie part of it.
Oh.
But it's called Stampede. That's the Wild West show. And then right next door to it, they built the Pirate Show, which is basically a live-action Pirates of the Caribbean ripoff. So they're doing sword fights, and they're, swinging on ropes. And I don't know where the seals fall in that, but that makes sense. They have seals. Because it's basically, the theory is in theater, it doesn't matter what you put on. As long as you put it on something, people will pay money to see it.
Yep.
There you go.
And if you throw in dinner, right, all of a sudden now it's more cost-effective.
And the food is good. It's like they got killer bacon cheese fries with some like homemade ranch, and that seal can dance.
You got lasers?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. And that's the thing, is that they're trying to find ways to get your money. And so they figure, okay, families are trying to do things on a budget, so we'll come up with a way so you don't have to go to a restaurant and go to a show. You just show up for the show, and we'll feed you and have a good time. And hopefully it's something for the whole family to enjoy.
Right.
And Dolly has made a lot of money off of that business model, something for the whole family. Have either one of you guys been to Dollywood recently?
No, I'm trying to take the kids there next year, though.
Yeah, you should. You will be amazed. They are rivaling Disney World.
That's what Jacob Williams was saying.
They've got something for everyone, for the little kids, for the adolescents, for teenagers, for young adults, for old adults. And I think that's impressive, that it's something that everybody would spend money on. So that's the whole thing about the pirate thing. And I'm concerned because that's jobs. Why are they trying to block something that's going to bring jobs and bring work to people there in Orange Beach?
Because the traffic. The traffic.
Well, who cares about the traffic?
Thank you.
They're making money.
Thank you. You're making enough money, fix the traffic problem.
Yeah. I mean, that's what you want. You have the beach right there. You want people to come to the beach, and you want to have for them to have stuff to do when they're not on the beach, because you can't be on the beach 24/7.
Right.
And
what do you do if it rains?
Exactly. And so it's this idea of you've got to have something for people to do. Anyway, I'm one of those people. I'm like, go ahead and build the stupid
Me
thing.
too.
And if it makes money, great. You'll stay in business. If it doesn't make money, it'll close down.
Yep.
Problem
solved.
Naysayers will say, "See, I told you so." But I think it's a good idea. So.
Well, I appreciate it, Master Thespian, giving us the 101 on all that.
All right. Well, y'all have fun now. I'm going to go back to grading papers.
All right. Everybody get to see.
Everybody gets to see?
Yeah. That way everybody's happy.
Seems a little harsh. 272-9228. That's 334-272-9228. So the reason I named this show, Crazy Lesbians Should Not Be the Head of Any Church.
Yeah.
It's because there's this X account and people have been sharing it like crazy. Protestia? Protestia, yes. And they often find crazy clips of just like, what in the world is this? And so somebody quoted that, and it got my attention, saying it will never not be crazy. This is from Paul at Woman Definer, so you know it's a good account. It will never not be crazy that a bunch of Christian denominations decided to let lesbians run their churches while preaching Jesus was wrong instead of just telling them no. And so if you think we're exaggerating,
yeah,
this is Reverend Anna Flowers from United Church in Walpole, which I guess is Massachusetts, or there's one in Jersey. I don't know exactly which Walpole it is.
I'll go with Mass.
Probably Massachusetts, yeah. By the way, when you talk about heritage Americans, a lot of these folks can trace their roots back to the Pilgrims. And that's what's crazy. The Puritans went nuts, man.
Because, yeah.
I don't mean like the word puritanical.
No.
I mean the folks that kind of, the old main line. It's like, what did you do? What have you done?
Brought shame to your family?
So this is Anna Flowers of the United Church in Walpole. She argues that I am the way, the truth, and the life is not literal. She says Jesus isn't the way, the truth, or the life exclusively. There are many ways to inherit eternal life. So let's listen to this sermon from this lady preacher. And, yeah, I don't understand what's happened.
I am the way and the truth and the life. And here's the kicker: no one comes to the Father except through me.
Right.
Now, for centuries, for millennia, Christians have used those words as a proof text to do all kinds of awful things in the world, to punish people for not being Christian or not being their version of Christian, to punish or condemn people for all kinds of beautiful diversity that we see in the world, not to bless the world, but to condemn it. All kinds of awful things have come from those little words. Now here's
What kind of awful things?
Please tell me.
But because, perhaps somebody went a little too hardcore in their enforcement of their belief, now all of a sudden we have to just keep completely disassemble, deconstruct the very words of Christ in order to say, well, you can do whatever you want.
No.
But I'm still wondering, though, what kind of awful thing? Are you talking about burning people at the stake, beheadings? Like, what are we talking about here exactly?
Damnation.
Mm-hmm. But she keeps going.
the thing. Before we even dive in, we have to get one thing straight.
Yeah.
Jesus did not come into this world to preach and to teach a my way or the highway kind of religion.
He literally did.
What I was taught my whole life.
He literally did. Unless you eat my flesh and drink my blood, you will not enter the kingdom of heaven.
Right.
I am the vine, which all other branches come from. Like this is wow, it's amazing how they'll throw away orthodoxy because, well, they've progressed.
Absolutely not. And in every other one of the Gospels, people come to Jesus and they ask him point blank, "Teacher, what must I do to inherit eternal life?" And in the Gospel of Mark, Jesus' answer is this: follow the 10 Commandments, love God, be an ethical person, do the right thing. Where the person who's asking, how do I inherit eternal life, follows up and says, well, who is my neighbor? And he says, the person who is on the way to eternal life, the person who has got it, who loves God and loves their neighbor, it can even be a Samaritan, somebody who is not of our religion, not of our tribe, not of our ethnicity, and worships God in a completely different way. That person can inherit eternal life. So again, to make a claim that Jesus in the Gospel of John is now preaching and teaching this radically different message that you have to follow God in a certain way, you have to say the Jesus prayer just like this, you have to be part of our tribe, or you have to be part of our faith, or you have to claim Jesus as your Lord and Savior, or you won't get into the kingdom of heaven, makes no sense when you look at it in light of this consistent character of Jesus. Jump into...
Okay, let's take the example of the book of Jonah.
Okay.
Jonah doesn't want to go to Nineveh.
Okay.
He doesn't like the Ninevites because the Ninevites have been pretty awful, actually, for a long time. And then, as he tries to literally go in the opposite direction,
what happens?
There's a huge storm, and then he gets thrown in the ocean, swallowed by the big fish or the whale, and then, which is a prefigurement of Christ, the 3 days in the whale, and then he's thrown up back onto the shore, and he finally goes to Nineveh. And he just goes and he reluctantly says, repent. And so what did the Ninevites do? They just worship Baal some more? They just worship gods in different ways? No, they literally, and it shocks Jonah, they all repent. Even the livestock put on ashes and sackcloth, it says in the text. They all repent. I mean, it's just, we don't have to go into the full deep details of all this stuff. But when I see stuff like that, that's just disheartening.
It's very disheartening. It's a brainwash is what it is. Granted, it's her opinion.
Sure.
And that's fine, but it's blasphemy at the same time, and to be delivered in a church setting like that, and for people to accept it,
yeah, that person can just do whatever they want, and they can still.
And they do.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the one thing I guess I'd grope for a general principle here is like God's in charge. Yeah, and Jesus is in charge. So it's not up to us to say who is going to inherit the kingdom. But he did also explicitly lay out a lot of things.
Yes, and I was also
follow the Ten Commandments, for instance.
My entire life, you're not going to get into heaven just because you're a good person.
Right. Isn't part of 10 Commandments, ma'am, thou shalt have no other gods beside me?
I believe that's one of them. Probably one of the pretty important ones, too.
Yeah, like the first one. And don't get me, like, you can get all nuanced. Like, there's beautiful, like, one of the early church fathers, Justin Martyr, writing his apologies to, and, like, defenses of early Christians to, like, the Romans and stuff. He comes up with a concept called the seeds of the word. So where you can see in Socrates, you can see in Plato, you can see in all these philosophers and thinkers and people from different cultures the seeds of the word. So if the word is Christ and the word was at the beginning and the word creates everything, then yes, even other different types, you still can see the seeds of the good. But the reason those folks would be redeemed is because he is the way, the truth, and the life. Because of his sacrifice at Calvary, because of his resurrection, because of his tearing of the veil and entering into the kingdom of heaven as the high priest that welcomes us in as brothers and sisters through him. And to say, well, you know, but don't be too judgmental. And because certain people have been a little too, it's like, really?
That's not how it works.
Really? And it's, I think, especially with, I mean, all denominations, it's not a Catholic Protestant thing. I've noticed it across the board. It's whatever your politics are, like, cool, man.
Yeah.
Whatever your politics are, just run with it. And
right into the wall.
And I think, to me, it's a reminder of, we don't save ourselves. Jesus saves us. But there's a kind of this idea that you need to cooperate with that. Like, it's a narrow door. It's a narrow gate. Anyway. And I love the irony of folks that are essentially trying to call out pharisaical behavior being a little bit pharisaical themselves.
Her takes one to know
Yeah,
one.
it seems to cut both ways when, you know, perhaps what you should be teaching them is to repent. Not to say those other people who do Christianity did it wrong. Repent. And maybe I'm sitting here contradicting myself, but that should be the message. Repent. Crazy. Anyway, this is why, you know, certain traditions are pretty good and pretty sound, and perhaps we should stick with them instead of going off into letting 1,000 different people pretend to be in charge.
Right.
Anyway, we'll be right back.
He may not know whether he's coming or going, but whether you're going to work or coming home, Greg Budell is there. Mornings, 6 till 9, and afternoons, 3 till 6. Only on News Talk 93.1 FM, WACV. For too long, Alabama's statewide news companies have shamed us for our conservative Christian values. Alabama deserves a news company that cherishes our culture, a company that isn't bought and paid for by the powers that be. 1819 News is that company. Run by Alabamians for Alabamians, 1819 News celebrates what is good and beautiful about our state, while exposing those who work against our values in secret. Just go to 1819news.com to learn more. Subscribe to our newsletter. That's 1819news.com.
Welcome to Eclectic Coins, Montgomery's largest coin dealer, specializing in buying and selling investment-grade gold and silver coins. And they have a large selection of rare coins and coins from around the world. Visit them at 543 Northeastern Boulevard or on the web at eclecticcoins.com. Eclectic Coins, where collectors who know go.
Hi, this is Carl Schmidt, naturopath and owner of the Herb Shop. Listen every Saturday to Winning Wellness and learn from experts in different fields of science and technology how nutritional supplements can help you.
Listen to Winning Wellness every Saturday at 10 a.m.
The premier place the River Region turns to for news, weather, traffic, and opinion. News Talk 93.1 FM, WACV.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back. This part of the program brought to you by Pest Pro Services.
Some of the best in the business, Joey.
Yeah.
Dude, I killed a centipede over at somebody's house yesterday.
You did?
I swear it had to be 6, 7, 8 inches long. It was the biggest one I've ever seen. Usually you see those multipedes and they're small. This thing was huge. I didn't like it, man. I took off my shoe, I smashed it and screamed like a girl.
Yeah, I saw one of the little ones at the gym the other day.
Yeah?
It was right where I was about to do push-ups.
See?
I was like,
See? I think I impressed this homeowner. Because not only did I kill the centipede or multipede, whatever it was, I suggested she call Ashley immediately.
Immediately. You don't want those things
No,
crawling
it was out in
around.
her laundry room, which is kind of outside the house, but still. Too close, man. Too close.
You know, laundry room should be a pleasant place where it's not, infested.
Exactly.
So y'all need to call a pest pro, especially if you see anything creepy like that.
Yeah.
Like too many cockroaches?
Too many.
I
mean,
thought
too
we
many.
had somebody come spray. Well, apparently not enough, or not thoroughly.
They're using water.
Right, or just anthill after anthill keeps popping up.
And at my place, and I brag about this all the time, they don't have to come inside the house anymore.
Yeah.
When they come, they just spray outside. It's great. I don't have to be there. I don't have to worry about nothing, and I don't have any pests at the end of the day.
So get in touch with Pest Pro Services. Get signed up for their monthly subscription model. Great way to control costs throughout the year. And, of course, you can add on top of their basic package things like termite inspection protection, mosquito protection. So you do have an acute problem, say, with fire ants, something they really need to take care of.
I got them right now, too.
They can focus on particular issues you might have along with the basic package they provide. So you can always learn more at ppsriverregion.com or just search Pest Pro Services on the Book of Faces or call them direct at 265-9990. That's 265-9990. And be sure to tell them that Joey and Eddie, those fellas on the radio, sent you. Yeah, I don't know. That clip, I was going to try to react in real time, but I admit I don't think I could do, I'm not trained in it, and I don't think I could do apologetics all day, every day. It's just the combativeness of it.
No.
It's like, but.
Who want to do that?
Like, what are we even doing here if you can just kind of go, well, that doesn't count, but I get to put on the clothes and look at the building.
Yeah, but she's a liar. I mean, I don't know how else to say that, and I'm not trying to be insultive, but from everything I was taught my entire life, she spouted nothing but lies.
Things taught for, thousands of years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And believe it or not, what she's saying, I even find it hard to believe that she's putting it out there and people are taking her seriously. I mean, we're having this big return to Christ across the U.S., which is great, but nobody's calling out that.
Well, there are a lot of folks who want Christ without the cross. They don't want the judgment.
It's not the same. Yeah, you're right. They don't want the judgment. They don't have the admission of what they've done.
Yep. I don't know. That's, to me, where I always go back to, especially when I start feeling like I got to call out this, that, or the other, like something like that. Like, no, it should be, I'm a sinner. I need to repent.
Yeah, call yourself out first.
And sometimes, again, I look at some of what goes on in this society of ours, and, like, you can't unsee it.
No, you can't.
The amount of idols that are everywhere. And, we're all, to a certain degree, a product of this place.
Oh, sure.
But this is not our true home. Doesn't have to be. Not our true home at all. Anyway, we'll get off that. Move on to something else in the silly political world. Or something depraved.
No, I got something really good.
Oh, you got something real good?
Really good.
Like that knife that shoots CO2
That
into
is
a
an
person?
awesome tool.
That sounds horrific.
I'll send you like a one of those dummies that has the insides, a gelatin thing. Stab it, push the button, it discharges the CO2 through the blade, and it just blows up their stomach.
But you have something else other than that.
Oh, I got a really good one.
A really good one.
Yeah, Caroline Leavitt, remember her?
Yeah.
She had her baby May 1st.
That's awesome.
She had a little baby girl.
Congratulations.
Second child, named Viviana, or they're going to call her Vivia, or Viva.
That's so sweet.
Yes.
And working lady getting that done.
And yes, she's a very beautiful lady.
Oh, that's awesome.
It is. It really is to me.
And I thought Marco Rubio did a great job filling in. Didn't you see Rubio met with the Pope today?
How's that going to go? You think? I didn't. I know they met.
Probably well.
I can only assume that Rubio's just telling him, "Hey, you stay in your world, we'll stay in ours."
Yeah, well, Trump yesterday was asked about this. He goes, "My only message is they can't have a nuke, Pope. They can't. Iran can't have a nuke. That's my only message." Seemed like he didn't agree with that, but they can't have a nuke.
Okay,
the Pope,
hold
and
on.
then the Pope's response, the Vatican's response, is like, "We've been against nuclear weapons since
That's what I
longer than
thought.
you've been alive.
I was just going to say,
We're
I
for
thought
peace."
they were all against Just nonviolence in general. We'll just start with the nonviolence part.
Well, how are you going to get rid of it then? No, and honestly, if you go look at, say, in particular Catholic Church teaching, it is up to the prudential judgment of the duly appointed, endowed, elected, whatever, civil authority. So the church provides the teaching. The church provides the conscience part.
What you do with it
and
is-
it's up to the person who's been endowed with that authority by earthly and heavenly authorities to make a prudential judgment about it. And then again, God's the one in charge at the end of the day. Anyway.
That's true.
Trump is, he cracks me up with
I'm going to miss the guy.
Yeah, you're already starting that? The farewell tour? We're not
Because
even 2 years into this thing.
I see replacements, but I don't see the goat getters that Trump is. Trump can really get people's goat, whether even trying to or not. And I know you probably shouldn't want that in a president, but I've learned to enjoy that in our president.
Man. Anyway, I need to feel like I need to go take a shower in holy water after watching that literal demon give that sermon, so-called. We'll be right back.
Broadcasting from the Riverside Chevrolet Master Control Center, this is WACV Cusada, News Talk 93.1 FM. When it's Chevy, it's Riverside.
With SRN News, I'm Bob Agnew in Washington. The U.S. and Iran said to be closing in now on an agreement that would end the war. A one-page memo has been proposed. Iran says it is considering it. Meanwhile, President Trump says U.S. blockade of Iranian ports should help to persuade the Iranians to comply with U.S. demands. U.S. jobless claims applications rose last week but remain at historically low levels despite elevated inflation and other economic headwinds. A defense of the nation's highest court against some suggestions of politically motivated bias, those charges coming from people who wish that the court were more liberal in its rulings, but Chief Justice John Roberts says none of the justices are political activists or just trying to interpret the law as it is written. A report from the Federal Reserve Bank of New York says lower-income Americans sharply reduced their gas consumption in the month following the war with Iran getting underway. Still, they're paying more because of higher prices. This is SRN News.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-583-0141. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com
or call 800-583-0141. That's 800-583-0141.
Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real
people.
The
Rich Thomas Weather Network is brought to you by Earnest Financial.
If you're tired of losing your money in the stock market, call David Earnest, 334-279-7431. Earnest Financial, LLC.
Rich Thomas Weather.
With the risk of showers and storms now moving into southeast Alabama, we'll start to quiet down and dry out. Mostly cloudy today with a high temperature in the upper 70s. Tonight's low in the upper 50s. Then it looks like middle 70s on Friday with the risk of some scattered showers, maybe a thunderstorm by sometime Friday afternoon, Friday evening. But in the overnight hours Friday night, showers and storms become likely. That continues into part of the day on Saturday. Saturday's high temperature up to about 81. Then another round, scattered showers and thunderstorms becoming likely on Mother's Day Sunday with a high in the lower 80s. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
From the Blue Water Broadcasting News Center, here's today's top stories. A Prattville man has been charged with attacking an off-duty police officer who was working security at the Ann Street Walmart. The incident happened just before noon Tuesday when the officer attempted to stop 20-year-old Devon Caldwell for suspected shoplifting. Caldwell is accused of hitting the officer multiple times in the face before shoppers helped to subdue him. Montgomery police are investigating a Wednesday morning shooting that left 3 people injured. The shooting happened just after midnight near East South Boulevard in the 3000 block of Woodley Road, where 3 men were shot. Suspects and motive remain unknown. No additional details were made available. A severe thunderstorm brought a flash flood to the Alabama State House Wednesday afternoon. While the legislature was in special session, the rains came and the waters rose. The reoccurring problem will be solved next year when the legislature moves to the new Alabama State House. From the Blue Water Broadcasting News Center, I'm Sky Mosley.
This hour of news and views is brought to you by our good friends at Alabama Home Mortgage. Alabama Home Mortgage, 567-4223. Visit them on the web at myalabamahomemortgage.com. NMLS number 1586368, an equal housing lender.
Hello everyone, Robbie Pelt with Capital City Roofing. If you think about it, your home is your biggest investment in life. Your roof covers your home, so why jeopardize your biggest investment on a roofer you don't know anything about when you can deal with a reputable roofing company like Capital City Roofing? We have an A+ Better business rating and the best manufacturers and workmanship warranties available. We do all residential and commercial roofing applications that are certified through the manufacturer to ensure you get the best material and workmanship money can buy. We also have your project in our best interest before and after construction has been done. Don't hesitate to call us if you have any roofing issues or questions. We will match any of our competitors' price and give you the same great workmanship warranty. We also give free estimates. Give us a call today and let us show you the difference. 277-3311. That's 277-3311. Or you can check us out on the web at www.capitalcityroofing.com. Capital City Roofing. We capitalize the roofing industry.
Don't miss the River Region Healthy Living Expo happening Thursday, May 14th from 10 to 2 at the Shops at East Chase. From senior health to total wellness, it's all here and admission is free. Learn more in the Check It Out section at WAKA.com.
The views and opinions of the following program are solely those of the host and other contributors. These do not necessarily represent those of Liberty Acquisitions 825, Blue Water Broadcasting, its management, staff, or any advertisers. It's time for Montgomery's conversational radio show. It's news and views on News Talk 93.1 FM. To join the conversation, call 272-9228.
I'm your host, Joey Clark. Eddie Bader here in the studio with me. And I don't love how Trump's kind of all over the place at this point on Iran.
Yeah?
Yeah, he did an abrupt reversal in his plan to help ships go through the Strait of Hormuz after Saudi Arabia suspended U.S. use of its airspace. Yeah, Trump surprised Gulf allies by announcing Project Freedom on social media Sunday afternoon. The official said, angering leadership in Saudi Arabia. In response, the kingdom informed the U.S. it would not allow the U.S. military to fly aircraft from Prince Sultan Air Base southeast of Riyadh or fly through Saudi airspace to support the effort.
Fine, burn it down. Let's get our guys out. Got no problem with that. You'll see them guys turn tail so quick, they won't let you get to the gate before they beg you to stay.
A call between Trump and Saudi Prince Mohammed bin Salman did not resolve the issue, forcing the president to pause Project Freedom in order to restore U.S. military access to the critical airspace. Other close Gulf allies were also caught off guard. The president spoke with leaders in Qatar after the efforts had already begun. A Saudi source told NBC News that Trump and the Crown Prince have been in touch regularly. Saudi officials were also in touch with Trump, Vice President Vance, U.S. Central Command, and Secretary of State Marco Rubio, the source said. Asked whether the announcement of Project Freedom caught the Saudi leaders by surprise, the Saudi source said the problem with that premise is that things are happening quickly in real time.
Mm-hmm.
And that Saudi was very supportive, quote unquote, of the diplomatic efforts. Mm-hmm.
There's a Chinese ship right now caught on fire over in the strait.
Really?
Yeah, somebody, they put out orders, the Chinese government put out orders this morning to ignore and just come on through. And I don't know who, might have been us, I don't know who did it, but right now that ship's on fire.
There's one person named Amin Dean. Having spoken to senior Saudi official about the NBC article regarding Project Freedom, I honestly think the article completely misunderstood what actually happened.
Okay.
That's what I was just reading from the NBC article, because it was written almost entirely from a U.S. perspective rather from the Gulf Arab perspective. First of all, contrary to the impression being created, the GCC were not blindsided by Project Freedom. They knew about it beforehand. Roughly half a day before, the airspace was open. The facilities were available. Nobody objected. There was broad support for the idea because, at least publicly, Project Freedom was supposed to be a limited humanitarian security operation aimed at relieving the 22,000 sailors trapped around Hormuz and allowing shipping lanes to breathe again. Nobody in the GCC had a problem with that. But here's the issue, and this is the part the NBC News article completely misses. If you are asking GCC countries to participate in such an operation, then you need to be upfront about the rules of engagement from day one. You cannot say, please open your skies and bases, expose your energy infrastructure, only for everyone to discover afterwards that the actual American policy was apparently, oh, by the way, if Iran attacks you with ballistic missiles, cruise missiles, and drones in several waves, we still won't retaliate because Donald Trump is busy chasing the deal. And this is exactly what shocked the Saudis, not the Iranian attack itself.
Right.
The UAE GCC expected retaliation. This is Iran. Nobody in the Gulf is naive about that anymore. The shock came from the American reaction afterwards. You had attacks against Emirati infrastructure. Multiple waves involving drones, ballistic missiles, cruise missiles, and Washington's response was basically, minor incident, let's not escalate. And for the Gulf Arabs, that was madness. Everything became the deal, the beautiful deal, the greatest deal, the mother of all deals, the ultimate art of the deal. Or perhaps more accurately, the ultimate fart of the deal, says this one author. Yeah, we'll see. But that's starting to make me a little nervous.
A little bit. But you know, and I'm just guessing, but I would think what's left of their government leadership is just few and far between. I don't think they'll ever agree on anything because you got nothing but factions left now.
Right.
And their idea of the best thing for Iran might be bomb us into the concrete. We don't care. We'll go down a martyr.
But Trump was saying yesterday that he has had positive conversations over the last 24 hours with Iran, and it was very possible the two countries would make a deal to end the war. We've had some good talks before, and all of a sudden the next day they forget what happened.
Yep.
Look, this is very simple. Iran cannot have a nuclear weapon, and they won't, and they've agreed to that, among other things. Trump had put out a warning that Iran would be bombed again if a deal could not be made. Assuming Iran agrees to give what has been agreed to, which is perhaps a big assumption, the already legendary epic fury will be at an end, and the highly effective blockade will allow the Hormuz Strait to be open to all, including Iran, Trump wrote yesterday. Senior Israeli political officials say that in Israel, that Jerusalem believes there were signs of progress in contacts involving Trump and the Iranian foreign minister. The Israeli officials caution that divisions within Iran's leadership continue, to your point, to threaten prospects for a durable agreement. Yep.
Who are you dealing with?
Exactly. Who's actually making decisions at this point?
I mean, and if, let's say Joey's making the decisions, and that's who I think I'm dealing with, but the real power is somebody else. I just got duped again.
And the clock is ticking.
Yeah, there's no doubt. There's no doubt.
May 7th.
Here's the other thing, man. So we're coming into this, and we talk about a lot. 1776 celebration.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to be in the middle of this?
Right. That was not the deal.
No.
Talk about the greatest deal, the ultimate deal. That deal was the election you won in 2024. Right. It was an amazing deal that the American people gave this guy. Now, it does seem he wants to end this. Like, he understands what we're saying, but
you're so far in.
This is the problem with blowing stuff up in this way, is like, even if it's not a complete failed state at this point, if you don't have clear leadership, what tends to happen in that vacuum of power? It ain't a reasonable person that rises up necessarily.
No, it's never a reasonable person. It's usually the most violent.
Yes. Even if it hurts the people more. Even if it hurts them even more.
Cut off in the nose to spite their face, man.
Now, it could be they are so weak in comparison to you. Like, look at Venezuela. No, and we're not as crazy as the Iranians. So
Right.
Sure, we cry uncle. And they cried uncle pretty
Yep,
quick.
yep.
But in the case of Iran,
that's a little bit different. Not to be funny, but the pride factor of Middle Easterners in general, they're not one to quickly give up. Although when it's one-on-one, they will. But from a PR's point of view, well, they always act like they're going down swinging.
No, it's just a shame. It really is a shame that we're still tied down into all this.
Yeah, I mean, look at here. They have the overhead. You missed it, but all the ships that are sitting on both sides of that.
Yep.
And to me, it's also crazy. The world we live in, 10% of the oil flows through there, but it's acting like it's 100% because of the prices.
Oh, well, I think, if 10% is essentially locked up, that is going to bid up the price if you have to go to other sources.
Sure.
Because it's not just more people buying, say, for U.S. oil, which is going to up the price.
Mm-hmm.
You also have to increase your cost of going all the way there. Like, you have to change your routes. Like, it just ends up.
Oh, yeah, that's going to cost.
So they're going to try to make up. Like, of course, going to try to make money out of this.
Yeah,
how this stuff works.
Honest to God, getting oil, that's printing money, man. They're just printing money.
Yeah, but you got to spend a good bit of money to do that, too.
But you're printing money. So, yes, they would have to go around, but it's more of an inconvenience than in a money-wise than anything.
Yes.
But what about the other 90%?
But they're not going to take the hit. They're not going to take the hit when they have to do the different route. They're going to charge a premium so they can make up doing that different route. And, heck, they might even charge even more because
they can.
They can, and they were like, well, thanks for the inconvenience.
It was like $4.18 yesterday.
Ooh, where you were? Then we heard somebody got a good price. What, at Sam's or something?
Yeah, Sam's was like still $3.80 something, but I had to get gas the other day. Not in the country or nothing, which you usually get screwed anyway, but right here in the city, it was $4.18.
Daggum.
No, man. I feel like one of them old, like when I was poor, I put $10 in. It don't even turn my light off, man. My E-light's still on.
272-9228. Let's hit another break early.
Okay.
I want to reset things, but first, this part of the program brought to you by James Cole and Cole Plumbing. And they're at Cole Plumbing. They are ready to help you out with any and all your plumbing needs.
You bet.
Could be you got a simple thing, like you got a drippy faucet.
Yep. Or a little runny flapper there back there.
Or clogged drain.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
Maybe your garbage disposal makes noise, but it doesn't really dispose of anything.
Yeah.
It kind of smells like smoke.
Yeah.
Smells like a nail salon,
Hot
according
garbage.
to Eddie. Like, what did you throw down there?
Well, you don't know until it breaks, so that's usually puts you in that spot.
But they can, of course, repair that
Oh,
for
yeah,
you, install
very
you a
easily.
new one. Or it could be like a massive job, like a tree root invasion, or a big water leak, or a gas line leak, God forbid.
Could be, especially here in Montgomery. A lot of people's houses are a little bit older, so their drain going to the city gets clogged a lot. And a lot of times they have to just tear it up and redo it. But with their kind of technology they have, they can reline that pipe, Joey. No tearing up the yard.
Not tearing out all that drywall.
Right.
Not all that sheetrock.
All that mud and mess.
Oh, it is a
inconvenience.
So y'all check out Cole Plumbing. They can get the job done for you. You can always go to coleplumbing.com, but I really encourage you to just call them up. Save their number, 279-8919. That's 334-279-8919. And just remember, folks, when you have trouble with your bowl,
call on Cole, Joey.
We'll be right back.
Want to carry News Talk in your pocket? Download the News Talk 93.1 app from the App Store. Available on iPhone and Android. Never miss a moment. Download now.
Yes?
Yeah, I'm Bill. You called about some breakers tripping?
Oh, yes, Bill. My brother-in-law says you can do almost anything.
That's me. Not much I hadn't seen.
Do you really want someone who does almost anything in your electric box? Think about that, because each year thousands of home fires are caused by faulty wiring. That's why you want a professional, like the electricians at Crosby Electric.
Bill, how's it going? Bill, ooh, are you okay?
Oh, yeah, well, I didn't really need my eyebrows anyway.
At Crosby Electric, all technicians undergo rigorous safety training, as well as background checks, drug testing, and continuing education.
Bill, you think maybe I should call a real electrician?
No, these little slip-ups happen. Everybody does it.
Really?
No, not really. When you need professional electric work or you just like someone to assess your home for safety, call the experts at Crosby Electric, 272-2085, or visit us at crosbyelectric.com.
Trust is the number one reason why a patient chooses a healthcare provider. Adams Drugs has been your trusted healthcare provider since 1962 and has been voted the number one pharmacy in the River region for many years. We strive each and every day to provide you the level of health care you have come to expect from Adams Drugs. The employees at Adams Drugs take pride in developing relationships with their patients, from making sure your prescriptions are filled correctly to getting to know you and your family's needs and following up on any questions you may have. Adams Drugs employees deliver top-notch service. We ask you to visit us at any of our locations in Montgomery, Prattville, Wetumpka, Millbrook, and Pine Level Marbury and give us a chance to earn your business. You can find us at adamsdrugs.net for the location that is nearest to you. Adams Drugs is your local, independently owned Health Mart pharmacy. Health Mart, taking the time to listen and care.
We get this question all the time.
Do you handle that?
Buying or selling a home?
Yes.
Commercial?
Yes.
Land or investments?
Absolutely. Hannah and Eddie Realty Group. One team.
Every real estate move. 334-322-0662.
Are you tired of the mainstream media's biased reporting? Do you want to stay informed on the news that really matters to you? Look no further than 1819 News. At 1819 News, we bring you the latest in Alabama news, politics, sports, culture, and more. We've assembled a team of journalists with Alabama values dedicated to the truth and the truth alone. Visit us at 1819news.com today. That's 1819news.com. Subscribe to our newsletter. Honest News, Alabama Values. This hour of news and views is brought to you by our good friends at Alabama Home Mortgage. Alabama Home Mortgage, 567-4223. Visit them on the web at myalabamahomemortgage.com. NMLS number 1586368, an equal housing lender.
Trustworthy, accurate, immediate. Carrying your voice across the River region. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back. Now, today is apparently a National Day of Prayer.
Okay.
And I'm wondering, people have like a favorite prayer? Particular thing they love like praying about?
Yeah, lotto tickets.
Lotto tickets?
Yeah. What do you pray
That's
about?
That's your usual petition to win the
It's usually
lottery?
thrown in there.
Or to just buy lotto tickets?
No, to win it.
To win it.
Yeah. I've learned that I have to buy it to win it. It's not just going to happen. I finally accepted that. So, yeah.
You don't ever pray like, give me another trial, another loss, so I can be pruned back and grow back with even bear more fruit?
No, I'm the opposite of that. Going, dude, give it up with the trials and losses here. You're killing me.
You should try.
Can I have a win every once in a while?
You should try the trials and losses thing. They're shaping you. They're pruning you.
Yeah, I was shaped for like a pear for a while. It was getting to me pretty good.
Oh, goodness gracious.
What, you don't ever throw in a lotto?
Not the lotto or like, you know.
It's all about the souls with you. It's all about the souls.
All about the souls?
You don't throw in a wishful prayer in for yourself? Is that
I
selfish?
have petitions, for sure. But, you know, I usually end with not my will, but yours.
Well, of course. I'm going to put that in there.
That's a pretty good one to constantly do.
Do you know how many people I could help with the lotto? Saying. You know me. I'd probably save this city. Nah, I wouldn't. Who am I kidding?
No, if I really did have that sort of stupid money, I think I would do, and I wouldn't even film it. People are like, oh, you could make it a YouTube thing. No. Like, I literally would travel all over the place, just get to know people, and like really, and like just quietly help somebody out. Like, almost like a Willy Wonka thing.
Dude, there's...
Like, that, I think, would be just a great way to actually... And because you can give to philanthropy, and I probably do that too, where
Sure.
you can, the institutional route, and give to the church and all this stuff. But there would be something about actually getting to know people, where they're at, especially somebody who's working their tail off, who is doing the right things, who needs just a little bit of help. And if you're in that position to help them, why not?
Okay, so I watch those kind of stories on YouTube and TikTok all the time. And there's not too far local, but there's a lady out of Georgia. She bought a used car, spent every $2,000 she had to buy this used car. And so she went to the local mechanic, who's a YouTube guy, and she said, look, I spent every dime I've got, but I need this car to be dependable. I have children. Don't screw me over, but fix whatever you got to fix on this car. But just know this is my only transportation, blah, blah, blah. He said, okay. He called her back in 2 days and said, come on out. We got your car ready. She's like, oh, my God, how much is it? He said, we'll talk about it when you get here. Just come on out. So she gets there. He has fixed everything on that car. And it was like a 1990s model Saturn something. I mean, he fixed everything. Then they also did a GoFundMe for the last couple of days, just off their page. So they were able to give her car to her back for free and a $160,000 check.
That's amazing.
And that lady, it's incredible to see. And the guy standing there holding the check. Well, she starts breaking down, as you can imagine anybody would. I know he felt so small, but so big at the same time. I've got this for you, but I didn't intend this reaction. No, and she broke down.
And I think that it's an interesting mentality. Something I've been reading about with St. John of the Cross, where you lose sort of your appetite, your just connection. I must have this, that, or the other. And what's amazing is you can find people who have a lot of money, but the way they don't waste it. But they could that person could lose everything they have and be just fine and start over the next day. And whereas there are folks who are poor and broke, and the sort of greedy aspect of, if only I had money, things would work out. And it's like, nope, that's
same problems you have, you'll just have with money in your pocket. That's generally what happens.
Right, and of course, there's different degrees, obviously, like of appetite and connection to these sort of worldly things. But that's one of the most heartening things to see with folks who have like a platform, who have a following, who are like, you know what, I would be doing this whether I had that following or not. I would be doing this whether I had the money or not.
There's a lot of them out there, man. There's some on TikTok. This guy goes around and you'll see homeless people with the sign up that says, we'll work for food. He generally stops, has a conversation with them. They usually take them to lunch and usually offer them a job and say, if you work with me for 2 weeks, I'll send you to rehab on my dime. And he's been successful so many times, but there are failures. And he posts the failures too, so it's hard to watch. You'll see somebody that you think, man, this guy's going to make it, da-da-da, and then you get the call, or he kind of puts it out there, hey, so-and-so fell out of rehab. And, we're not going to give up on him. We're going to keep praying. And I don't know, as much as I'd love to help people like that, I don't think I'd have the patience because when things just start going wrong, and I just give up. That one success story is great, but when you have 10 failures, it's hard to go back and dwell on that success.
Yeah. Now, another prayer that may be my favorite.
Yeah?
Nothing.
What do you mean nothing?
Sit in silence. Don't ask for anything. Don't think of anything.
Mm-hmm.
No, try
Good luck with that.
It's not easy.
Yeah, how you shut the brain off, man.
But no, I think if you just focus, maybe a mantra would help you. Like a simple, saying.
Lotto, lotto,
lotto. No, I think that's going to bring up all sorts of demons. Lotto, lotto, lotto. Goodness gracious. But, something, but to eventually where you don't need it, like just complete, like be in stillness and silence and like give it up to God. Give up your heart to God. And there is something that it'll be amazing what eventually, like the thing where it's not the usual distractions, the news you heard that day or the song that's playing in your head or whatever, the worries and anxieties you have about getting this bill paid and this problem fixed and stuff, where you stop, do it for 30 minutes if you got the time. Make the time. And you'll be amazed at stuff that you'll think of. It won't be that chatter. It'll be like something will appear.
It kind of shuts the noise off.
Yeah.
For me, I go walking in the morning, maybe a half-hour walk with me and Roxy, and it's not something I want to do at all. I don't want to do it, but I feel like crap if I don't do it. And then usually when I'm done with the walk, my head's a little bit clearer, feel better about myself because I just lay around all day. But it clears the mind. Something about there kind of clears the clouds out of my mind. I can focus a little better.
Oh, absolutely. Going and walking, just being in nature. And I have of late, the stuff you just never noticed before, and you start just appreciate little beautiful things.
Oh,
I get to the church at 6 in the morning, and there's almost always, unless it rained, and I had the thought today, where do the birds go when it rains?
You don't know that? They return to the charging stations.
Because the birds aren't real. No, but usually when it's a beautiful day, like a beautiful morning, there's always little birds, like songbirds, sitting there singing right outside the church. And, like, I never thought of that for 20, 30 years of my life. Who cares about the stupid birds?
But you were
That's
able
for
to
the
shut off,
birds.
You were able to shut off the noise to hear that.
Yeah, no, and now it's like, that's absolutely beautiful.
And then this morning, like I said, it was raining,
little
so
thing
you,
like
you didn't hear the birds. Did you
Yeah, and I
notice?
was like, where do they go with the rain?
What's something missing?
Yeah, exactly. It's just it could be something that simple.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't have to be some profound revelation all the time. Honestly, most people don't get those.
No.
But anyway, in a second, I want to play the Speaker of the House, Mike Johnson. He gave a little bit of
did he?
speech about National Prayer Day.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
But first, let's go to line one. You're on there. Who's this?
Yes, Papa B.
Hey, Papa B. How you doing?
Yes. Yeah, if I had that kind of stupid money, I'd probably be good for nothing, Eddie.
I tell you, if I hit the lotto, I'm good for 5 years. After that, it's been real, guys. It was fun.
He's been out in the sun too long.
See y'all later.
That's pretty much it.
Well, you are starting to look like a California raisin.
Hater?
Speaking of California raisins, I don't like talking about how people look because I have a face for radio for sure. But, boy, Debbie Wasserman's dude, she went from zero to usually in a hurry. My God.
Yes.
She could stand in. She could be a stand-in for one of the California raisins at this point. I'd never seen anything like it. She used to be kind of cutesy, ugly type thing, but
yeah.
It's kind of that's gone now. So anyway,
It doesn't last, man. We were going over this yesterday with Jane Fonda. Like, the looks just don't last.
Pan out after a while.
No doubts about that. So I want to. I hate this term, circle back. I want to go back to a little news story that you did the other day. And the FBI, treasure trove of information dump, the UFOs and that kind of stuff. And there was one story that you kind of brushed over there that was like, just what? What'd they do? And you said something about a Bigfoot. What was that about? What did they say on the FBI files?
About Bigfoot?
Yeah,
that
they looked into it. He
really doesn't exist.
Yeah.
But they've lied to us before.
I thought you said they killed one. There was one, but they killed it or something like that. So there is no FBI.
Yeah, that was the initial claim from the Bigfoot Society that reached out to the FBI, I believe.
No.
We know you killed our leader.
So it's like that was the headline that was the hook. Like, FBI files show that they might have found one dead. And it's like, no, but that was the lead from the Bigfoot people.
Yeah. Oh, that was the fake. Yeah, the fake Bigfoot story. Okay.
Mm.
Yeah, well.
And they analyzed hair and skin samples, and they're like, no,
always
man.
deer.
And it came back as a deer.
It's always deer.
Well, we can trust the FBI.
Exactly.
Now, did you see the UFO story? And let me look this up real quick. That because they're about to do this big document dump apparently after Trump's executive order, and somebody claimed that somebody from the U.S. government sat down with a small group of 7-day Adventists and essentially explained to them
this story's already starting off bad. I'm not promising. I'm not sure you want to carry on with it. Go ahead.
Well, no, I'll bail out because I only saw the headline in
Does it
passing.
have a mothership involved?
Guaranteed.
All right, go ahead.
Well, no, but that it would upend the whole idea of what we understand of our faith, and everybody online. Yeah, sure.
Good
sure,
luck.
Sure.
Good luck.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Well, now Sean, I saw Sean Hannity did some interview with a guy that supposedly saw a UFO in the hands of the government or something. I mean, I don't know. I mean, who knows what to believe? But so nothing yet on the UFO end.
Right.
Right.
Yeah, no huge disclosure yet.
Okay. Seventh-day Adventists, did they get taken up in the mothership? No.
I don't think
that
so.
didn't happen. Okay. All right. Well, keep me posted. I mean, I am interested in finding out what all this hubbub is about.
Yeah, like the X chatter is pastors across the U.S. are now stepping forward and revealing they were briefed at a secret meeting with government officials about how to reveal the existence of aliens to their congregations. They are preparing to tell us they are from another dimension and that they are creators, and go and tell the church they are not ready for what's coming. And I'm like, that sounds like work of a demon to me.
Yeah, a little bit. A little bit.
Yeah. A tiny bit there. All right. Well, anyway, so y'all carry on. Enjoying the show.
Amen.
Thank you, Papa B.
272-9228. This is part of the program. In fact, the entire hour brought to you by Alabama Home Mortgage. And there at Alabama Home Mortgage, Kim Williams and Madeline Cannon are ready to help you out, whether you're looking to purchase a home.
Right.
Could be you've done it before, but you kind of went with a different company last time and you didn't enjoy that experience.
Right. You kind of want to be treated like a person this time.
Yeah, especially if you went with like a big bank or something.
Oh, yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Instead, go with great local folks that, actually care about you.
Well, the nice thing about
deal.
that, too, Joey, is when they do go with that local person, when they turn in that proof of funds to put a contract in on that home, they know it's the local people. So they know it's not some scam. Because here lately, man, we've gotten them from everybody. From, what was it, the other one the other day? 1-800-LENDERS. How do you take somebody serious like that when that's the name of their company?
Goodness gracious.
Right.
Yeah. No, especially if somebody's sitting there trying to solicit you with like some flashy mailer or just that cold call. No, run away.
Exactly.
Like, hang up and don't let them talk to you. That's just, you're playing with fire if you're going down that road. And so if you're looking, again, for great local people you can trust who are going to get you the best possible deal and can walk you through, if, say, you're a first-time home buyer, the buying process from pre-approval all the way to closing day, all the steps in between as well. And, of course, if you're looking to refinance for reasons of getting debt off your back or making sure that retirement fund is secure, changing your monthly overhead issues, or it could be you're looking to reinvest in your family, your property. Maybe you're wanting to go big into Bitcoin. I'm not suggesting it. It's just whatever you want, baby. Get in touch with Alabama Home Mortgage. And if you're a veteran, you especially need to get in touch with them. They know the latest with the VA mortgage, and it is still the strongest home financing option available here in the market. Y'all check them out today. You can always call Alabama Home Mortgage direct at 567-4223. That's 567-4223. Or apply online at myalabamahomemortgage.com. There is a difference in mortgage companies. Let Kim and Madeline prove that to you today. NMLS number 1586368 at Equal Housing Lender.
He may not know whether he's coming or going, but whether you're going to work or coming home, Greg Budell is there. Mornings 6 till 9 and afternoons 3 till 6. Only on News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
2026 marks 60 years that hope has had a home in Alabama. At the Alabama Sheriff's Youth Ranches, children who've lost everything through no fault of their own have found something priceless. A safe place to live, a loving Christian family, and the chance to simply be kids again. Here, boys and girls grow up surrounded by care, guidance, and faith, learning right from wrong, learning responsibility, learning they are valued and that their lives have purpose. As the Alabama Sheriffs have believed for 6 decades, it's easier to build boys and girls than to repair men and women. These former ranchers are now teachers, parents, business owners, and leaders, living proof that love, structure, and faith can change a life forever. As the Alabama Sheriff's Youth Ranches celebrate 60 years of serving Alabama's children, you can help ensure the next child has the same chance. Learn how you can make a difference at alabamasheriffsyouthranches.org. 60 years of building lives, and we're just getting started.
When you're hiring, have you ever felt like you're missing out on meeting truly great candidates for your roles? It seems impossible to find them, but they have to be out there somewhere, right? Well, they're not hard to find when you know where to go, and that place is ZipRecruiter. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free at ziprecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day. And because these people are actively looking for jobs just like yours, it's easy to find the right person right away. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. But if you're not using ZipRecruiter, you're missing out. So see what it's like when the impossible is easy. When you go to ZipRecruiter.com/radio right now to try ZipRecruiter for free. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio. Never miss out on great candidates with ZipRecruiter.
At Blue Water Broadcasting, we believe great advertising starts with relationships. That's why so many local business owners trust us, not just for radio, but for digital too. If you're already running digital advertising and you're not seeing results, it may be time to explore your options. Our team takes the time to understand your business, then builds custom campaigns using a multi-channel conversion-focused approach. So whether it's digital display, social media, or you need help increasing your online presence, Blue Water Broadcasting can help. Before your next campaign, let's have a conversation. Visit bluewaterbroadcasting.com.
This hour of News and Views is brought to you by our good friends at Alabama Home Mortgage. Alabama Home Mortgage, 567-4223. Visit them on the web at myalabamahomemortgage.com. NMLS number 1586368. An equal housing lender.
Rich Thomas Weather is brought to you by Clark Heating, Air and Plumbing. It's time to schedule your spring tune-up with Clark Heating, Air and Plumbing. Don't wait. Schedule today. Give them a call at 334-277-2125. Alabama certification number 88007.
Rich Thomas weather.
With the risk of showers and storms now moving into southeast Alabama, we'll start to quiet down and dry out. Mostly cloudy today with a high temperature in the upper 70s. Tonight's low in the upper 50s. Then it looks like middle 70s on Friday with the risk of some scattered showers, maybe a thunderstorm by sometime Friday afternoon, Friday evening. But in the overnight hours Friday night, showers and storms become likely. That continues into part of the day on Saturday. Saturday's high temperature up to about 81. Then another round, scattered showers and thunderstorms becoming likely on Mother's Day Sunday with a high in the lower 80s. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
All the headlines the mainstream media won't touch. Your News Talk station. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
This is how you conduct yourself in a democracy?
Joey Clark.
Welcome back. Let's go right to the phones at 272-9228 and talk to Simpler Days. Hey, Simpler Days.
Hey, gentlemen.
How you doing this morning?
You know, doing fine. You know, there's been multiple reportings over the years of seeing Bigfoot in Montgomery.
Really?
I mean, yes. I mean, it's documented through police communications. There was a golf course used to be out there on Mobile Highway.
Mm-hmm. Fine course.
It was. Oh yeah, and we referred to it as the Katoma Street 9.
Yes.
And yeah, it was right there by Katoma Creek.
Yep.
Right there by the sewage plant.
Mm-hmm. Good smelling course.
But anyway, oh yeah, and the gentleman and the mosquitoes that eat you up out there because backwater coming off of Katoma Creek would sit there.
Yep.
But the gentleman that owned it, he was an older man, and he hired this young guy, and he had a friend that had a Bigfoot suit. And periodically, when people would be playing on the course, he would put on the Bigfoot suit and go back in the back of the woods back there and come out. And we'd get calls to the golf course saying that they've sighted Bigfoot or some kind of strange creature out there. So we'd have to go out there and investigate. And of course, after the first couple of times,
yeah,
we would get quite. It was humorous to watch the people come running down, and we would wait because the guy would hide in the woods, and we weren't going to go back there and try to track him down.
No reason to do that.
We knew what was going on.
Right.
No, it was just good, clean fun.
Yep.
But there had, like I said, it was documented through police communications that Bigfoot was out there. Hey, did y'all happen to see that? Did you happen to see that the Los Angeles City Council voted to do away with non-felony traffic stops?
No.
What?
Yeah,
Is that
the
right?
City Council voted yesterday to do away with non-felony traffic stops. Now, I'm just wonder when the crime rate rockets.
Yeah.
And when the wrecks start happening, and when the human trafficking, drug trafficking, and all other criminal activity skyrockets, what they're going to do.
So what would a non-felony traffic stop?
Speeding,
running a red light?
Red light, stop sign, driving like an idiot.
Driving like an idiot.
Yeah,
and just like the guy that got caught the other day in Montgomery with a stolen police gun.
Yes.
That was an investigative stop, and all we heard when they passed the concealed carry, open carry, whatever you want to, that it was going to limit and do away with law enforcement's ability to do their job. But that's not the case, because they've made, according to the mayor and according to the task force, they've made hundreds and hundreds of arrests. So one of the council members, this is what caught my attention. One of the council members who voted for this thing, and they had all these group of people with their T-shirts on. I've been a victim of the LAPD, racist police department, and all that stuff. One of the council members that voted on it said, "Oh yes, I can attest. I was a victim of the LAPD racist activities because I was driving through a school zone and I got stopped, and school wasn't even in session, and I was given the business." Well, come to find out, it wasn't an LAPD police officer. It was a school security officer that just happened to be out there on the street, saw him speeding, and pulled him over. But this is how, the story gets stretched,
right.
It gets told. But I wonder, we get a lot of stuff coming from the left coast. It usually takes a couple of years, 3 years for us to get here. I just wonder in Montgomery if our mayor is going to try to do away with non-felony traffic stops.
Well, he's been successful as far as the non-hiring of police officers.
Just something to ponder, gentlemen.
Yep.
Have a good day.
Thank you, Simpler Days. Did you ever hear the report of and maybe they don't report it, but if a gun goes missing from the Montgomery Police Department, do they report that? Like when an officer's gun goes missing?
Probably should.
I ain't never heard it. Maybe I missed it. Maybe I was asleep.
But if your gun goes missing, maybe just go get a new one. You should probably report that.
I would think so.
And deal with the consequences.
I would like to know what the consequences were.
I mean, there's got to be big screw-ups where you're like, I want to rectify this before anybody finds out. But once it's gone, it's gone.
Right, but there are some screw-ups where, Joey, you're a great person. I know this is a big mistake.
How does somebody steal an officer's gun? Left it in the car?
Left it in the car. He could have left it at his girlfriend's. Could have left it in the bathroom. But there are times when you go, Joey, I love you. You're a great person. I know this is a mistake, but we can't tolerate these kind of mistakes. You have to get your stuff and go home, buddy. Because if you did it one time.
Yeah.
Yep.
This place. You got to wonder, where are we going, guys?
The hell?
Where are we going? We got to hit this break.
All right.
First, this part of the program brought to you by Bo Goodson and the Goodson Group. And they're at the Goodson Group Bowden. That team over there, the good team, they're ready to help you out, whether you're looking to buy or sell property, a house, here in the Montgomery and surrounding areas. Bo has been working in the River Region real estate market for about half a century now. And they can not only help you there at the Goodson Group with buying and selling property, but you want to rent out your place?
Mm-hmm.
They have management services available should you want to rent out your home.
You sure can.
And it can be a great service, still becomes a performing asset for you, but you don't have to deal with the hassle of being a landlord.
Exactly.
Which is a hassle.
Mailbox money.
Even if you got experience, it's a hassle. So why not have the Goodson Group do that for you for a reasonable fee? You can always learn more at thegoodsongroup.com or just call them direct at 551-0225. That's 551-0225. Bo Goodson and the Goodson Group, great sponsor here of the program.
Want to carry News Talk in your pocket? Download the News Talk 93.1 app from the App Store. Available on iPhone and Android. Never miss a moment. Download now.
Mayday, Mayday, may I have your attention? I want to announce that Pizza Perfect in May. You can buy a large pizza at the regular price and get a large single topping pizza for only $10. You already know that Pizza Perfect has the best pizza buffet in town, including spaghetti, breadsticks, salad, dessert, and drink for only $13 at lunch and dinner on Tuesday, Friday, and Saturday all day. In May, buy any large pizza at the regular price and get a large single topping pizza for $10. Pizza Perfect, Coliseum Boulevard in Eastbrook. Available for pickup and delivery.
This hour of news and views is brought to you by our good friends at Alabama Home Mortgage. Alabama Home Mortgage, 567-4223. Visit them on the web at myalabamahomemortgage.com. NMLS number 1586368, an equal housing lender.
We get Montgomery talking 24 hours a day. The River Region's most trusted voice. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back. Now, I want to go to Speaker Mike Johnson since it is the National Day of Prayer. He was having a big event there at the U.S. Capitol, and he gave a little speech talking about the nation's history and, in particular, the part that prayer has played in that history. Let's listen in to the Speaker of the House.
So much, Kathy, and all of you. It's so good to see you, especially today on this 75th anniversary of the formal National Day of Prayer. Now, prayer's been a part of our DNA since the very beginning, as you know, so it's fitting that we do this. This formal tradition, as you know, was established by Congress at the height of the Cold War, and it reaffirms something that's so important that really goes to the heart of who we are as Americans. We are a praying nation. We always have been. It truly is part of who we are. We know that prayer is where the impossible happens. We know it's where we find solace and stay anchored in our faith, even through challenges and even through the storms. And that is indeed how we have endured. It's fitting that we're here in beautiful Statuary Hall, which, as you all know, was the original House chamber. It's fitting that as you walk around the Capitol here, and we're so happy to welcome you today, that you'll see vestiges, reminders of the deep religious heritage of our country. You'll see reminders of our deep Judeo-Christian traditions, our foundations, our biblical foundations. That's what makes America unique and extraordinary. Just about 100 feet or so here, if you went through the rotunda and took a left, and you would go down the hallway where my office is, the Speaker's office, on one side. On the other side is the Senate Majority Leader's office. And right in the middle of that is a chapel that was erected about the same time, built and established there about the same time as the National Day of Prayer became a formal piece of our law. And as you walk in there, many of you have been in there before. I invite you to go visit it. Your eyes will be drawn up to this beautiful original stained glass piece. It's one of a kind. I think it's the most beautiful I've ever seen. And in that stained glass, right in the center, is depicted the father of our country, George Washington. He is humbled before the Lord down on one knee. And he's praying, and it says the words surrounding him are from Psalm 16:1. And it says, "Preserve me, O God, for in thee do I put my trust." Preserve me. That's what the father of our country said. That's what we still echo today. And of course, that passage of Scripture is a restatement of our national motto, "In God we trust." And by the way, if you come with us to the House chamber, the current House chamber, you'll see that Congress also, many years back, also during the height of the Cold War, decided to engrave permanently the national motto right above the head of the Speaker of the House in the rostrum as a permanent reminder. In fact, it says in the visitor's guide to the House chamber, somewhere about on page 21, it says what that was for, and says Congress put that there as a rebuke to the Soviets because of their philosophy. They did it during the height of the Cold War. Communism, Marxism, socialism begin with the premise that there is no God. And Congress wanted to make sure that all future generations understood that is not who we are. And these are reminders that they were there long before the practice of public prayer was formally enshrined in the law, it was, before we did all that, it was immortalized in the hearts of the American people and in the founders of our very nation. It wasn't just George Washington. From the first harvest at Plymouth, to the blood-stained battlefields at Bunker Hill, to the whispered prayers of pioneers who were moving westward, the long arc of American history has been charted by the prayers of God-fearing people, God-fearing American citizens. This 75th annual National Day of Prayer comes at a unique time in the history of our country, of course. We're also celebrating the 250th anniversary of this grand experiment in self-governance. For Americans of faith, it's a time for us to come together and to pray for our nation, of course, and so it is so fitting that we do this right now. It's also a time to reflect on the great moral inheritance of which every American citizen across every generation has been the humble recipient. That inheritance goes back to the very idea upon which our nation was founded. We boldly proclaimed the self-evident truth that our rights do not come from government, they come from God himself. And that he is the one that has endowed us with our inalienable rights, that among those are the rights to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Right there in the second paragraph in the nation's birth certificate, it summarizes our national statement of faith. The founders made that bold declaration, and that was the foundation that made us become the most free, most successful, most powerful, most benevolent nation in the history of the planet. It's not even close. Our founders did their best to set up our nation in accordance with his guidelines and principles, and my friends, that is why God has blessed America for 250 years. But the faith of our founders didn't just shape the character of our civic institutions, it steeled the American spirit, and it strengthened the fabric of our public life through our highest highs and our lowest lows. So it's only natural that today we reflect on this experiment in liberty and how best to maintain it, how to keep this grand experiment in self-governance, how to keep the republic. And we follow our founders and we seek his guidance, God's guidance, through the words of Scripture and the invocation of prayer. The theme of this year's National Day of Prayer is not rhetorical. It says, tell of God's glory among the nations, his good deeds to all people. As Americans of faith, we see that as our responsibility. We can never know what tomorrow brings, of course, but God calls us to be faithful and to proclaim his good deeds. And on this grand anniversary in particular, we have a great opportunity. We should use this the entire year as a teachable moment to pass along to the next generation of Americans who we are, what we're about, and why we are this great country. So as we pray for our country today, we thank God for his acts of salvation and provision and deliverance. Let's also pray that we may have the strength, just as our founders did, to hand the baton of faith and freedom on to the next generation that follows us, a generation that cherishes liberty and proclaims proudly what is right and good and true.
Amen. I thought Mike Johnson did a very good job with that this morning. Wanted to share that with y'all. We got to hit our top of the hour break, but in studio with us, we have Congressman Gary Palmer. He is running, of course, for re-election. And if you want to get in with a comment or a question, the number still 334-272-9228. You'll get lined up, but looking forward to talking to Congressman Palmer here in just a moment. Y'all stay tuned.
Broadcasting from the Riverside Chevrolet Master Control Center, this is WACV Cusana, News Talk 93.1 FM. When it's Chevy, it's Riverside.
With SRN News, I'm Bob Agnew in Washington. The Vatican says what it calls the need to work tirelessly in favor of peace was among topics of discussion today as U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio paid a visit. Rubio visited Rome on a fence-mending mission. After President Trump's criticism of Pope Leo XIV, the State Department says that Rubio and Leo discussed the situation in the Middle East and topics of mutual interest in the Western Hemisphere as well. Oceanwide Expeditions has now revealed 30 passengers disembarked from one of its cruise ships that was hit by a hantavirus outbreak on April 24th. They left the vessel on the remote island of St. Helena nearly 2 weeks after the first passenger there died. The company had previously stated that only a Dutch man's body was removed there, and his wife also disembarked. She later died. On Wall Street, the Dow Jones Industrial Average struggling. It's down 270 points. This is SRN News.
I talked to a lot of great companies. Very few of them actually literally surprised me, but Fellowship Home Loans sure did. For over 20 years, Mike and Brian and the team there have been helping families do something most people think is more complicated than it has to be. Get into a home, lower their rate, or tap into equity they didn't even realize they had. Everything at Fellowship is done in-house. One roof, one great team, all with a servant-led mentality. From your first phone call to closing, you're going to get people who know you by name. They'll know your situation. They treat you like family. They're also offering a free mortgage checkup right now. Don't miss out. Rates are lower now than if you purchased or refinanced your home in the last few years. Many Fellowship customers are saving hundreds of dollars a month when refinancing, and there are no payments for 2 months. Go to fellowshiphomeloans.com/Mike G, fellowshiphomeloans.com/Mike G, or call 800-510-MIKE, 800-510-6453. Fellowship Home Loans, mortgage lending by the book.
Nationwide Mortgage Bankers, DBA Fellowship Home Loans, Equal Housing Lender, NMLS number 8193.
Rich Thomas Weather is brought to you by Alabama Wholesale Lumber. It's more than just great prices on lumber. From Trex decking to energy-efficient windows and Tamco shingles, Alabama Wholesale Lumber has it all.
Rich Thomas Weather.
With the risk of showers and storms now moving into southeast Alabama, we'll start to quiet down and dry out. Mostly cloudy today with a high temperature in the upper 70s. Tonight's low in the upper 50s. Then it looks like middle 70s on Friday with the risk of some scattered showers, maybe a thunderstorm by sometime Friday afternoon, Friday evening. But in the overnight hours Friday night, showers and storms become likely. That continues into part of the day on Saturday. Saturday's high temperature up to about 81. Then another round, scattered showers and thunderstorms becoming likely on Mother's Day Sunday with a high in the lower 80s. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
1819 News.
Campaign attack ads have emerged the most within the race for Attorney General here in Alabama. Katherine Robertson released an ad this week that attacks Jay Mitchell for rulings that he made while he was a justice in the Alabama Supreme Court. The ad says that Mitchell turned his back on law enforcement and helped the woke left in that ruling. The ad from Robertson comes after Mitchell criticized Robertson and the AG's office overall for the mistreatment of a Montgomery police officer who was involved in an on-duty fatal shooting. As a Supreme Court justice, Mitchell found that the officer had been overcharged with murder. Mitchell is also disputing claims from another attack ad by Robertson that claims he worked on behalf of a foreign Muslim regime. Mitchell wants Robertson to retract that ad, calling it defamatory. Mitchell now says the latest attack ad from Robertson about his ruling is proof that she had to walk back one of the lies she has spent dark money on spreading within the other ad. Meanwhile, Blount County District Attorney Pamela Casey is also running in this race for Attorney General and has remained out of the attack ad fray. I'll be back with more Alabama stories after this.
Some of the greatest blessings is just having people that care about you, to have someone that's just going to love you and make you feel important. They encourage you to be in church. They encourage you to be in prayer. They encourage you to be in your Bible. Now it's a part of my day every day. My house parents planted seeds in me that you can see where those seeds have sprouted in my life and helped change my life.
Big Oak Ranch, a Christian home for children needing a chance.
A teacher at a high school in Semmes has been placed on administrative leave following a police investigation into sexual misconduct. The teacher's name has not been made public by the Semmes police chief at this point in time. The teacher worked at the Mary G. Montgomery High School and now faces a termination hearing. I'm Andrea Tice.
For more news affecting Alabamians, go to 1819news.com. And while you're there, subscribe to the daily newsletter.
This hour of News and Views is brought to you by our good friends at Cole Plumbing, 279-8919. Cole Plumbing is number one in the number two business. You don't have to dig a hole. They have proprietary pipelining technology. Ask them about their tankless water heaters. Remember, when you have trouble with your bowl, call on Cole.
What's your biggest investment? More than likely, it's your home. So treat it that way when you hire a painting contractor. With PBS Painting, there are no gimmicks, no $99 specials. Just quality painting and someone who treats your home with the same respect that you do. At PBS Painting, we have been painting for years and look forward to many more years to come. With PBS Painting, the job gets prepped properly. whether it's cleaning, scraping, or priming. We always use quality products, which is a must for a quality paint job. So if you're looking for a painter that doesn't need upfront money and is on the job at all times, then please give me a call. Scott Bowers and PBS Painting, 294-5122. That's PBS Painting, 294-5122. Look at some of our work on Facebook at PBS Painting Montgomery.
The views and opinions of the following program are solely those of the host and other contributors. These do not necessarily represent those of Liberty Acquisitions 825, Blue Water Broadcasting, its management, staff, or any advertisers. It's time for Montgomery's conversational radio show. It's News and Views on News Talk 93.1 FM. To join the conversation, call 272-9228.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back. I'm your host, Joey Clark. Again, thank God for a beautiful day. It's been a beautiful show so far. And yes, again, Montgomery needs a new mayor, but we don't have to go into that this hour any more than that. And as promised, we have here in the studio with Eddie and I, Congressman Gary Palmer. Congressman, how are you, sir?
I'm good, Joey. You sound kind of mellow today.
Yeah, I think I am. I think I woke up too early.
Think you woke up mellow?
Yeah, 4:15 or so.
I thought Mike Johnson might have done it to you.
No, I've been enjoying the National Prayer Day as mellow, quiet prayer most of the day, and I wanted to start there because I know you've been and without revealing too much behind the scenes, offered even help to me as I was wrestling with this and coming back to faith. So when you see like this celebration that we're having today, the 75th annual, or just think about what does seem to be a revival going on in this nation right now. What are your thoughts on it?
Well, you know, I'm a student of the Bible, but I'm also a student of history. And when you think about the 75th anniversary of the National Day of Prayer, think about it in the context in which it came about. It was also a direct repudiation of the atheistic Marxist movement that had overtaken Europe after World War II, that Europe has still not recovered from, and where we are today in regard to the Marxism that seems to be spreading across our country. And so I think it's particularly important, and I didn't hear everything that Speaker Johnson said, but knowing him, he brings it back to the core, and I think that's where a lot of us need to be, and it's And I think about this too. Ethan Weiss, our district director and deputy chief staff's in here, and he just mentioned that France is experiencing a revival, particularly among young people. That's going on here too. A lot of it came about from Charlie Kirk's work with Turning Point, but it really preceded him. They were big movements. It started with that church up in Kentucky, and it's just spread all over, young people turning back to faith in Christ.
Well, and I truly believe that, I mean, we had a lot of practical issues and a lot of things that need to be solved. And like somebody asked me, I was having a conversation earlier today, it was like, are you getting to where you don't think politics matters? I'm like, no, I used to feel that way. Now I feel like there is a deep responsibility for, say, civil authorities to pursue the common good and pursue justice. But I think the true battle is if I could get every American on their knees, not literally if knees are bad, but if we're winning that war, the war of, say, spiritual warfare and discernment, every morning and centering people are, because I can only speak for myself. I feel like I was so almost like hypnotically grasped by this phone right in front of me and the news cycle and the social media stuff. So I think if we start winning the prayer war, the spiritual war, then a lot of the practical stuff down the road will figure itself out.
Well, I write weekly devotions, and I've been writing devotions for 30 years in one form or another. I write them for myself, and there are people who ask for them, and I'll add them to an email list, but I don't. And I've written a lot about that kind of addresses the whole state issues, the government. And I really think that people need to stop and think about the role of government, that it's instituted by God, so it's not a man-made institution. But also, and particularly in Romans 13, where it says you're to be in subjection or subject to the governing authorities, the King James Version calls them ministers. And you and I both know that there are not many people that we could call ministers serving. There's a lot more people think, but there's not enough. And I just think that people who profess faith in Jesus Christ, it's just like I said, they need to be on their knees praying for the government. We're instructed to do that in 1 Timothy, to pray for those in authority. Yeah. But also and I think it's particularly true of the church, to prepare people to run for office as a ministry, for leadership, prepare people for leadership. It doesn't mean they can't go out and make a living and have a job and do stuff, but at some point, particularly after they've had a little life experience, raised a family, to consider serving in a city council, mayor, state legislature, right, even Congress. And I think our country would be a whole lot better off if we had more people like that and fewer of the self-serving career politician types.
Now, without necessarily calling out anybody personally, a revival amongst young people for certain here in this nation. I was looking at polling, though, and it gets worse, like, say, the amount of people, say, in a given age cohort, millennials, Gen Z, Gen X, boomers, that just read the Bible weekly, which I'm like, what about every day? But just weekly, and you just see this heartening, wonderful upsurge in Gen Z and millennials, and then you just see this slide down, especially with boomers. And so I guess my question is this on, when you try to share your faith, if you do there in Washington, D.C., I'd imagine there's still that culture that looks at it like you got three heads or something. And here in Alabama, I've noticed as I've come back to the faith that just a warm welcome mostly. But I wonder about other parts of our country, especially our power centers.
Well, I'll share a couple things with you. I take people on nighttime tours of the Capitol, and it's about an hour and 45 minutes going through, because I give a lot of history, but I give a lot of spiritual insight. And I took 30 college students from University of North Alabama, and we always end up on the floor of the House, and after I tell them a little bit about the floor, I just take questions. One of them said, well, it's pretty evident that your faith is important to you, and she wanted me to share a little bit. And I did, and 17 of those kids signed up for the devotions. Yeah. And I was asked to speak in San Diego this weekend, and it was a conference type thing. So that Saturday morning they had a lady on, and I mean, she was just dark, Joey. I mean, it was one of those where you just want to jump off the out of the window. Yeah, it was so bad. And when she took questions, I said, I'm going to give a different perspective, and I did. And then that night I was the keynote speaker, and it was one of those deals where you have a guy interviewing you. And the thing that I talked about is how the country has been through tough times before, and how there's always that time when people just think it's all over, but we always find a way. And I talked about this couple that had taken on a tour, and about 10 days after they got home, I get a text message from one of them, from the wife, saying, my husband wrote a song. And you've probably had that moment when somebody says, hey, Joey, I've written a song, you kind of cringe. Sure. I listened to it and I teared up. Yeah. I mean, it was so centered, and there's a line in there, if left to our own devices, we'd surely come undone, but grace has filled the cracks and mending us into one. We're becoming a more perfect union. Gives me chills now even talking about it. That gives me so much hope. Amen. And I just think that that's what the country needs right now is hope. Amen. And in a second, we'll get into the political stuff. Yeah. But, I don't know if you've checked out anything I've been putting out there at 1819 of late, and week after week after week. And some days I'm like, thank you all truly for letting me put this out here. But it struck me the other day, and the way I guess I phrased it was, like, man was built to scale mountains he knows the summit he can't reach, right. But God's the one that bridges that gap, that bridges the breach there. And
not just in your day-to-day and the personal life and, like, say, the acts of love you and starting a family, talk about an act of faith there, not knowing, where things are going to go. But I do look at this nation, and I look at, like, the people that braved the wilderness and built the skyscrapers and, heck, got us to the moon. And now the new program, so I see it as that sort of by faith, very much like in Hebrews, that by faith we carry on not only that cloud of witnesses, but we're also continuing this project in a very practical way.
Yes, we are. And you're always going to have critics. There's always people that are going to tear you down, that doubt you, that they're suspicious of everything you do. But you just have to keep going. You have to stay focused and just pray that God is raising up people around you. And my particular concerns are that we prepare this next generation for leadership. And I tell young people this all the time, Joey. They're going to lead. And you kind of get that eye roll. And I say, no, you don't have a choice, because you're going to wake up one morning and be my age. My generation won't be here. And you're going to find yourself having to make a big decision one morning. And when that day comes, I want to do everything that I can from a mentorship type perspective to help you make a good decision. And we're just not doing enough of that, mentoring young people. And when I say young people, I'm talking about people younger than us.
Yeah.
I'm not talking about teenagers. I'm talking about folks that you can share your experiences and what you went through, and then coming back to your faith and how that's impacting your life now going forward. People need to hear that.
I appreciate that. And I think it's an interesting time, like, because I never would have thought. And for me, it was very much not just the work Charlie Kirk did there at Turning Point, but I was in the studio that day. I remember this guy standing up. He had to go do some real estate stuff. He was standing right there, pointing at the TV. Look, something happened to Charlie. Walks out. I'm sitting here, and I'm scrolling through X, and I see the close-up video of what happened. And then immediately, like 5 seconds later, I have to go back on air. And I believe the videotape's up. I can't bring myself to watch it, but I believe I start crying and praying, which was not in my habit of that time. And since that day, I was like, I have to follow through with this and feel the pull. And one of the beautiful things I've realized is I'm not the only one who felt that in that moment. And I think it was even Cardinal Dolan. No. It was Scott Adams, may he rest in peace, who said it's almost like when that happened to Charlie, like this energy, this light just beamed out to all sorts of folks. That young man was containing so much in him. And one thing I do worry about is, and this gets us to some of the practical politics, the reaction to that moment hasn't just been people returning to church and faith. There's also been the conspiracy rabbit holes. There's been the accusation and the scattering galore. And it makes me worry that Charlie himself was a big part of the glue of that coalition that won in 24. But in general, how are people reacting to these moments? So as we kind of head into that, what do you make of, say, the opposite response of the folks that have gone down some of these dark paths to the craziness?
Well, I'll say this, and I hope people understand what's going on here. We're in an existential struggle with China and Russia, and Iran was included in that at one point. But there's so much of this stuff that's out there that is Chinese and Russian disinformation, and North Korean to a certain extent. And it used to be Iran. Iran was really good at cyber. So there's a lot of this stuff that's just completely made up. And people, we're hardwired to want to believe the worst. I mean, that's why horror films are so popular, is people just, they want to live in fear. For some reason, they're attracted to that. And they need to really be careful about what they're reading, and to make this stuff believable, you add a few things in there that are verifiably true.
Oh yeah.
To give it legitimacy, sure. and that's what happens, and it's out of context or it's totally a total misrepresentation. It's part of how you take the spirit out of a people. You undermine their confidence in their government at every level, and people just give up. It's like what happened after the 2020 election. Every time I turned around, people were telling me, "Well, you'll never win again. You can't win. They're just going to steal it. It's no point in voting." I've got this favorite barbecue place that I when I'm home I try to hit it at least once, And there's one guy that I've known 40 years, Joey. He's a great guy. He's a Christian, and that's all he would say. He was already there eating with some friends, and I looked at him. I said, I'm not going to tell you his name, but I said, I'm not talking to you anymore. You're one. If we lose, it'll be because of people like you, because you're so cynical, and it's almost like you enjoy the thought of the destruction of the country. And I said, I'm done with you, but I want to tell you this: Trump is going to win. And when Trump won, I didn't call him, but next time I saw him at the barbecue place, which he's there as much as I am, he admitted that, things were better than he thought. But we're hearing it again.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah.
And I met with the White House. They called me and invited me over for lunch to talk about some issues, and one of them was how to get the SAVE Act passed through reconciliation. We can do that. I'd laid that out for Mike Johnson. I laid it out for the White House. We need to do that, and we can do it through reconciliation. But they've just got to make up their mind that we're going to do another, not one big beautiful bill, but one big enough.
Yeah.
Well, let's hit a quick break, kind of reset things. We'll get into the lead up to the midterms. Also, this whole huge court case and redistricting and what might very well happen with congressional primaries in particular. Mm-hmm. Again, folks, we're talking to Congressman Gary Palmer. If you want to get on the conversation, 334-272-9228. We'll be right back after this.
He may not know whether he's coming or going, but whether you're going to work or coming home, Greg Budell is there. Mornings, 6 till 9, and afternoons, 3 till 6. Only on News Talk 93.1 FM, WACV.
This is your roving reporter, and today I'm talking with a political activist.
That's right, man.
And could you please explain to us your red cap with the letters MMRGA?
Yeah, man, this is my MARGA hat.
MARGA?
Yeah, man, that stands for Make My Retirement Great Again.
I see.
And to do that, what you need to do is call David Ernest,
the asset preservationist.
That's right, man. You can call David at 833-596-7233. That's 833-596-SAFE.
And I understand that's a toll-free number.
Yeah, man. Get David Ernest on the case, and your retirement will be great again.
And you make these hats?
I do. Here's a whole pile left from the last administration.
And they say CPWABD.
Yeah, man. Corn Pop was a bad dude.
And as you said, there's a whole pile here.
Well, there wasn't much demand.
I can dig it.
It's time to show Mom how much you appreciate her with a Jenny Lynn's floral creation for Mother's Day. Skip the grocery store flowers and make one quick call. 285-1000. Roses, lilies, beautiful bouquets, and gift baskets designed just for Mom. Call Jenny Lynn's Creations, 285-1000. For too long, Alabama's statewide news companies have shamed us for our conservative Christian values. Alabama deserves a news company that cherishes our culture, a company that isn't bought and paid for by the powers that be. 1819 News is that company. Run by Alabamians for Alabamians, 1819 News celebrates what is good and beautiful about our state, while exposing those who work against our values in secret. Just go to 1819news.com to learn more. Subscribe to our newsletter. That's 1819news.com. This hour of News and Views is brought to you by our good friends at Cole Plumbing, 279-8919. Cole Plumbing is number one in the number two business. You don't have to dig a hole. They have proprietary pipelining technology. Ask them about their tankless water heaters. Remember, when you have trouble with your bowl, call on Cole.
We get a lot of questions about what all we handle at Hannah and Eddie Realty Group. I'm Hannah Grantham.
And I'm Eddie Bader, and we will handle all of your real estate needs.
We handle all your buying and selling needs, from your first home, next home, land, investment property, and even commercial properties.
We do it all and have the experience that shows you what makes us different.
So when you think real estate, think Hannah and Eddie Realty Group. Look us up on Facebook or give us a call at 334-368-6358. And let us show you who you have on your sign matters.
Hi, I'm Carl Schmidt, naturopath and owner of the Herb Shop Wellness Center at 8161 Vaughan Road. You know, with over 30 years experience in natural wellness, I've seen countless health fads come and go. A few years ago, we added a patented technology that actually activates your stem cells. It reverses the aging process at the cellular level. However, you do need proper hydration and targeted nutrition. At the Herb Shop, our advanced scanning and testing technology allows us to accurately assess your nutritional needs and get a customized plan for you. Come in today and see what the Herb Shop can do for you.
Mike Costanza with Chappie's Deli.
And Jeff Marenko with Chappie's Deli.
One of the reasons Chappie's Deli has been around for over 32 years is Blue Water Broadcasting.
Yes, it is, and we have the perfect faces for radio.
We sure do. And if you have a perfect face for radio, call Blue Water.
Radio works. It's as simple as that. Call us to find out how radio can work for your business. Blue Water Broadcasting. Local folks helping local business.
This hour of News and Views is brought to you by our good friends at Cole Plumbing, 279-8919. Cole Plumbing is number one in the number two business. You don't have to dig a hole. They have proprietary pipelining technology. Ask them about their tankless water heaters. Remember, when you have trouble with your bowl, call on Cole.
Weather, a service of H&H Carpets, where right now, get a load of this, listen close, you get a house full of carpet for $19.95 installed. Unbelievable. They're located at 6450 Atlanta Highway, just across from Walmart.
Rich Thomas weather.
With the risk of showers and storms now moving into southeast Alabama, we'll start to quiet down and dry out. Mostly cloudy today with a high temperature in the upper 70s. Tonight's low in the upper 50s. Then it looks like middle 70s on Friday with the risk of some scattered showers, maybe a thunderstorm by sometime Friday afternoon, Friday evening. But in the overnight hours Friday night, showers and storms become likely. That continues into part of the day on Saturday. Saturday's high temperature up to about 81. Then another round, scattered showers and thunderstorms becoming likely on Mother's Day Sunday with a high in the lower 80s. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
Big dreams for your home on a tight budget? ASE's $26.26 as you covered. Unlock your home's equity with just $26 in closing costs. No fees, no headaches. Visit your local ASE branch today. Federally insured by NCUA, Equal Housing Lender. NMLS number 420259.
If it concerns your community, you'll hear about it on News Talk 93.1. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Welcome back. Again, in the studio with us, we have Congressman Gary Palmer. And I want to turn the conversation now to sort of the midterms. But first, this redistricting fight. And I mean, huge decision by the United States Supreme Court. And I know the plan is May 19th right now. But what do you make of this moment and what the Alabama legislature is trying to do and the court's decision?
Well, first of all, you know, there are a lot of people out there on the left claiming that this all started with Texas, and that is completely inaccurate. This started years ago. If you look at the northeastern part of the United States, Massachusetts has 9 members of Congress. Do you know how many of those are Republican? 0. Connecticut has 5. You know how many of those are Republican? 0. There are Republicans in those states. They just don't have representation. Redistricting has always been understood to be a political process. And so what happened with this whole court decision, you got to go back to how that started. When Trump got elected in 2016, Barack Obama, Eric Holder, his former attorney general, and Mark Espy formed a group to target states to sue them, citing Section 2 of the Voting Rights Act of 1964, to say that it was unconstitutional not to have a proportional number of districts that were majority minority people, okay, whether it was Hispanic or black. And that's what happened in North Carolina. That's what happened in Georgia. That's what happened in Louisiana and in Alabama. The court just threw that out. And basically what they said is this is a political process. Race, to draw districts based on race is unconstitutional. So the Alabama legislature is reacting to that, plus what the northeastern states have done to eliminate any Republican representation. There's no Republicans in Maine, Vermont, New Hampshire, Delaware, Rhode Island, none at all. None in New Mexico, none in Hawaii. So, and that's how the Democrats really have been trying to hold the majority, is by drawing Republicans out of their districts.
And I always love the rebuttal the left tried, where it's like, well, but Voting Rights Act Section 2 claims and suits have been brought in blue states. I'm like, yeah, and well, it doesn't make the districts bluer.
Right.
Like it always, that's so fascinating that it is an inherently political thing, drawing district lines. And to have in Supreme Court precedent, thank God it was just overthrown, that always accrues to the benefit of one political party, that's insanity to me. And I also love that Clarence Thomas got to, write at least a concurrence here, because I believe he called this out in 1991. This is the direction they're going. They want proportional group entitlement based on race. And you just got to wonder, not that you want to give them free advice, but where the Democratic Party goes from this. I mean, and there's whole industries built off of this model that they were using.
Well, not only have they basically drawn the Republicans out of these states, they've done it in New York, and we lost at least 3 seats there. They did it in Illinois. We lost another seat there. But it's not just that they're drawing the maps the way they are. It's that it's their philosophy that has so dramatically changed that now they're the party of Zohan Mondami. I mean, this is a socialist/Marxist party.
Now, how do we win, though? And because the balls are kind of up in the air with the redistricting going on. But on the issues, what do you think are the issues that anybody running for Congress, but as well as the President of the United States, should be hitting as we head into the summer?
Well, I would remind people that the gas prices were actually higher under under Biden than they are now. And Biden wasn't trying to save the world from a nuclear catastrophe. He was trying to force people into electric vehicles. But gas at the national average hit somewhere between $5.30 and $5.60 a gallon. That was the national average. So people have forgotten that. The other thing is, once this conflict's over, gas prices are going to come down, and they'll come down pretty quick once the supply lines are reopened. The other thing that I tell them is the fundamentals of this election haven't changed from the last election. The Democrats had an open border. They were calling for defunding the police, the local police. That hasn't changed. They've just changed who they're targeting now. The Border Patrol is, in effect, law enforcement for the border. They want to defund them, and they want open borders. And I really don't think the American people want that. Then you look at what we've done with the One Big Beautiful Bill. 51.4 million senior citizens paid no income tax on their Social Security. There's $50 billion in that bill to reform rural health care, the most historic transformation effort in our nation's history. And I'm the one that put that together. I couldn't get it in the House version of the bill, but I got it in the Senate version of the bill. Alabama this year is getting $203 million to provide for rural health care. And Joey, I talked to people here. Their place in Alabama, a woman, if she's pregnant, has to drive an hour to see an OBGYN. I talked to one young lady from Wisconsin, drives an hour and a half. There are maternity care deserts all over the country. If somebody has a stroke in a rural area and it takes them an hour to get somewhere, well, you know how that's usually going to come out, or a heart attack. So Alabama's got a chance to fix that, and they're going to get at least $100 million a year for the next 4 years after this, and then they can apply for grants for that as well. So they could get anywhere from $150 to $200 million a year. And I've talked with Senator Tuberville about this quite a bit, and I've told him we'll help him with it. The other thing is the tip economy. There are women out there that got back $2,000, maybe close to $3,000 in income taxes that they didn't have to pay on their tips, that they could, if it's a single mom that could buy school supplies for their kids, or maybe get a better place to live. I mean, and every Democrat voted against that bill, every one of them. And then I was talking off the air about what I think we can do with another reconciliation package. There's stuff we can do on health care that I've introduced a bill that if we implement this, it'll lower premiums for a couple in their 40s with 2 kids by over $9,000 a year, and it'll lower premiums in every age bracket.
Wow. So
we've got things that we can do that I think is really going to help the country. And what President Trump's trying to do right now is protect us from a group of madmen that was running a country that doesn't believe what they believe, by the way. There's 75,000 mosques in Iran. 50,000 of them are closed. People quit going. It was run by about 10% of the people really buy into what the Ayatollah was pushing. And if they'd gotten a nuclear weapon, I am absolutely convinced they would have used it.
And it seemed from my read of just the news from this humble perch is that the problem with making a deal right now is that we don't really know who's running that place. Like, is it the foreign minister? Is it the Revolutionary Guard? Is it the legislative leaders? Like, It seems like they are in a tough spot, and that makes it hard to make a final deal, I suppose.
Well, I would say that I'm pretty confident that the radicals still run it because the moderates would have already made a deal.
Okay.
And I think we're going to have to find a way to remove them one way or the other so that the moderates can run it. This is one of the most Western countries in Islam is Iran. And I think if we can get the radicals out and the country rebuild itself, I think they'll be fine.
Now, you also mentioned, and I want to hit on it before I forget, that you could have the SAVE Act actually get through reconciliation. I know Senator Kennedy was pushing, and people saying the parliamentarian won't let all that happen, but you've come up with something where it could easily sail through.
Yeah, I went to the speaker and told Mike that we could do this through reconciliation. He said, how could you do that? And I said, well, it's easy. You just tell the states that they issue photo IDs, we'll pay for it. They have to issue new birth certificates for people who need a birth certificate. We'll pay for that. If we will pay for them to clean up their voter files. I called Wes Allen, our Secretary of State, and asked him to get me some numbers if Alabama had to issue the photo IDs and the birth certificates, what would it cost? And he came back and said it'd be between 1.8 and 2.7 million, or maybe 2.2 million. Well, that's just for Alabama. You think about the other 50 states and places like California, and that's reconcilable. That's not an insignificant impact on the budget. So that's how you can do it. It has to have an impact on the budget.
And is there an appetite to do that? Like, I'm just wondering, because I know you're on the House side. I look at the Senate, and I look at, say, 4 over there who are being intransigent about this. It seems like there's a way to get this done, and maybe with enough pressure from the president and good ideas like that, it will get done. But I just wonder sometimes about some of the senators up there.
If you sent the SAVE Act by itself in a reconciliation package, I'd be very, very concerned. But if you put other stuff in the package, like my health care bill, which, by the way, the number's H.R. 1776, can't get much better number than that. I think that you put some things like that in there that they want, and I think that's how we could get it done.
And also, for folks to get a picture of this, the difference between a Democrat-led House with impeachment politics just being all day, every day in the media frenzy, or, say, an actual, maybe in large majority, especially with redistricting, of Republicans, I'd imagine there are a lot of things that could get done, and you could easily pave a route. I mean, who knows who it will be? It's an eternity in politics, but presume J.D. Vance, Marco Rubio are obvious front runners for 28. You can actually pave the road for this next generation that Trump has handpicked himself, with a productive Congress and White House, as opposed to, well, what we would get with the Democrats.
Absolutely. And all people have to do is look back to 2018. We lost the majority in 2018. That's because about 8 million people who had voted for Trump in 2016 did not show up to vote. We warned them what would happen. And we lost the majority by less than 100, right around 100,000 votes cumulatively nationwide. So if just another 110,000 people had come out and voted with us in the right places, we would have kept the majority. The first thing they did, Joey, and you know this, you reported on it, is they filed articles of impeachment.
Yeah.
And it was all fake stuff.
Yep.
It was made up. That Arctic frost, all that stuff, we now know was all made up. They will not, there's nothing that would hold them back. So for those folks out there that thinking that this won't matter, that they don't need, they're not thinking about voting this fall, they need to think through this, and they need to make sure they're registered to vote. They need to get out and vote. And that's not just here in Alabama, that's all over the country.
And let me dig a little bit more into, you mentioned the health care idea that would bring down premiums a massive amount. How would that work?
Well, in my bill, I won't get everything out of it that I've got in it, but the main thing is covering people with pre-existing conditions. It's one of the biggest issues with women. They're the biggest consumers of health insurance. They're the ones that make our appointments, call in the prescriptions, pick them up, pay the bills. And they're the ones that, as they take their kids to the doctor, and as their parents get older, they wind up taking their parents. So what I set up is a way to cover pre-existing conditions by setting up a guaranteed benefits pool. If someone went in to get insurance and they had cancer or a heart attack or something like that, they fill all that out. The insurance company will be required to sell them a policy at the same price in their age bracket as they would anybody else. But 90% of that premium would go into that guaranteed benefits pool. The insurance company would keep 10%. The federal government will have to front load the guaranteed benefits pool. And I did this in 2017, and McCain killed it. And it was going to take about, I think, $38 billion to front load it. The rest of us, $5 or $10 out of our premiums would go into this. So if a person comes in that's in the guaranteed benefits pool, has that type policy, they get really sick, the insurance company pays the first $7,500, 10% of the next $25,000. So they know their exposure is limited to $10,000. At that point, the guaranteed benefits pool will pick up the reimbursements, and they'll reimburse at the Medicare rate, which everybody's made whole.
Yep.
It will, and people think, well, he's going to add $5 or $10 a month to my premium. No, your premium's going to come down, because that under Obamacare, their idea of covering pre-existing conditions was to force insurance to cover everything, and when you have to cover everything regardless, then the actuaries have no way of knowing how to set the premium cost, and that's why they just went through the roof. This will bring it down. By the way, there's 316 million people in the country that have health insurance in some form or fashion. Only 23 million of them are on Obamacare, but it's what's driving the premium cost.
Now, given all your work in the healthcare, like thinking about those ideas and how to solve these issues, what do you make of the current leadership in the White House, like your RFK Jr. and Dr. Oz, and are they receptive to these sort of ideas and folks you think?
Oh, yeah. And the other part of my bill is price transparency, which is a huge deal, and the health insurance companies aren't particularly crazy about it. I'm not talking about Alabama, but I'm talking about other places. And we're also working with pharmaceuticals. I have a really good working relationship with these guys at the White House, and they call me. There's only 4 of us in the entire House that they call and ask to come to the White House to work with them on prescription drug prices. And I'm sitting right next to Dr. Oz. So we're trying to do this in a way that will allow our pharmaceutical companies to continue to lead the world in innovating new drugs, because I want drugs that cure, not just treat, okay? And so we don't want to undermine that, but at the same time, it's unfair what happens with these drugs go to Europe and the government subsidizes them over there, and we bear the brunt of it. So the White House asked me to come over and work with them on that, and then they called me and asked me to come to lunch to talk about the SAVE Act and my health care bill and some other things. So we're working really well together on these things, and with all due modesty and humility, they see me as probably the top policy mind on the House side.
That's awesome.
And there's some people would say that's a pretty low bar, but then that's beside the point. But
tallest dwarf. Yeah.
But I ran a think tank for 20-something years, and I've been working on some of this stuff for 20-plus years.
Now, I want to shift back kind of where we're going and underline this demoralization point, because it does seem like even here in Alabama it's starting to take effect. Like the information flows, it's hard to know. Everybody's so siloed off into their own curated algorithm. I mean, that's ideal that they curated it themselves. Sometimes it seems to be not very conscious. I'm worried, are we actually reaching folks, or at least like singing from the same like hymnal book? Like, and you mentioned earlier that there are operations from foreign actors. And so when you see, say, some of these numbers that are out there, like so-and-so has this many views, so-and-so has this many people watching them, do you think those numbers are real? That this is, or is this sort of an inflated thing that's being used to drive certain points of view and ideas?
I think it depends. There was an interview that someone sent me, and I mean, it looked real. I mean, built out studio. They spoke better English than I do, and there were Russians. I didn't look to see how many views they had, but again, people are hardwired to believe that. You remember that TV show House of Cards?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Okay, I never saw it. Okay, so they were having a new season, and the Washington Post sent someone with a video camera out to interview members of Congress about were they excited about the new season of House of Cards, and they stopped me and said, who's your favorite character? And I said, I have no idea. I've never seen it. And they said, you've never seen it? I said, no, man. I said, look, if anybody ever made a TV show about how Congress really is, nobody'd watch it. And I said, as a matter of fact, they have. It's called C-SPAN.
Yes, that's right.
There you go.
And
that's right.
That's how Congress is. It's a grind. I see these movies depicting the White House and the West Wing. It's not even close to what the place looks like.
Right.
You see them in the Situation Room. It looks like it's this giant conference room.
Mm-hmm.
It's not. It's just a lot of people have been misled into thinking things about members of Congress. Now, there's some sorry people up there. There's no question about it.
Everywhere you
and on both sides.
Sure.
And they need to go.
Yeah, and I think this only gets worse with, like, for instance, the aspect of China being in this major rivalry. It's major competition with them. But AI, so the United States needs to win on the AI race with China. But then I look at the effects that AI is already starting to have on folks, where people don't believe that so-and-so wrote this. They can't believe their own eyes in many ways. And so I'm trying to almost work through, okay, the government, we have these real geopolitical concerns and power concerns, but how do we get folks like back centered to where, I don't know, some sort of authenticity? I don't know what role the government might have in that. But it seems like this technology is, as much as we're leaving, here's my working thesis, and it's a little over the top, but what we're watching and have been watching, especially since Trump came to town in 2015-16, down the escalator, is the death of liberal boomerdom. Sort of this age of the 20th century where people watch The West Wing and go, oh, this is politics and we can do anything, we're America, and we still want that mentality, but that seems to be, well, with Roe v. Wade being overturned and then this latest decision by the Supreme Court, and you take your pick, there's been all these shots. The corporate media doesn't have the same pull that it once did in the way they could shape narratives or run to the SPLC and do all these things. But I worry that, okay, now that stuff I'm celebrating is happening, I'm starting to think, ooh, the new generation, especially with this new technology, we're going to make some new massive mistakes of our own. And I just wonder what's coming and how we actually center this. And perhaps it's where we began the conversation with prayer.
Well, you mentioned the Southern Poverty Law Center, okay? Think about the misinformation that they put out for years and made millions of dollars doing it, okay? Misleading people, stirring up racial division, and look at what they got caught doing. Okay, that's the kind of stuff that concerns me because they're making that kind of stuff up and attacking us. And I'm sure there are people on the other side doing the same thing with them. I'm at a point now where if someone's got any questions about something, and we get calls all the time, it's just call our office. I try to address a lot of stuff in our newsletter, and I do the final editing of everything that goes out. Every letter that goes to a constituent, I do the editing on. I just got another batch sent to me this morning. I edit everything that goes out in our newsletter. I write huge portions of it most of the time because I want people to know factually what's really going on. But it's going to be difficult. But at the same time about AI and the dangers of misinformation, whoever wins the race to dominate AI will not be a superpower, they'll be the superpower. And you combine artificial intelligence with quantum computing on the battlefield, they will control the battlefield.
Yep.
Right. We have to compete or China will dominate the world. And we're really the only two powers that have the capability to do this. And there's a way to do it without having data centers all over, in everybody's backyard. There's a way to power it. I've been a huge proponent of small modular nuclear reactors, the same thing that powers our submarines and our aircraft carriers. This can be done, and I'm considered, again, the leader on this effort. I've been working with Central America countries to try to nearshore some of this stuff that we have to have, and working directly with the White House. They've got one of the best people I've ever worked with heading this effort up. It's the best cabinet, Joey, and I started the think tank, working in the think tank world in 1989. This is the best cabinet I've ever seen.
And I've heard that Trump really is this time running it like a business.
Yeah.
Like it's almost seems like that way in the foreign policy with the shuttle diplomacy, as they call it. It also seems like it in real time. It's not like we're going to have a committee and 2-3 weeks later we might come to a decision. It's like it's happening 24/7, and it's his classic move of always being on the phone with everybody in the world.
He's the thing that I tell people about Trump. I wish you could see him the way I see him in a meeting. And I've met with him privately. I've met with him and with several other people. He processes information faster than anybody I've ever been around. He's that smart. And then he asks good questions, then he makes a decision. And he doesn't tell people to go out and take a poll. He just figures out, is this the thing that we need to do? And if it is, we do it. And he's got the right people in place to make these things happen. He's hired a guy this guy was on National Security Council, a guy named David Copley's heading up this effort to secure our supply chain of refined critical minerals and rare earth elements, which our entire economy would collapse if China cuts us off. There's not a major refinery for rare earth elements in the entire Western Hemisphere. And Copley is leading this effort, and he is fantastic. He's got the right guy at Energy and Chris Wright and Tyrion Burgum, and I could go down the line, Besant at Treasury. These are guys who know how to make a decision.
Well, and we're seeing some of that, and the hope is that we can continue this game now and not let the Democrats take the House. But I think Alabama's we're going to do our part. But I'm looking at other states in the nation and hoping for the best.
I think our legislature may have done its part this morning. Part of it.
Yeah, well, and how about that flooding there? And as they're tearing down the old place, that's a good hurrah, like last hurrah. But we're pretty much out of time here, and if folks want to support your campaign, and I guess the primary's still on, even with all the action for May the 19th, but if folks want to support you, how can they do so?
Well, just turn out and vote, and they're going to need to vote twice, once May 19th, and then if these new districts go into place, then they'll have to vote again, and they haven't set the date, but it'll probably be sometime in August, which is going to be really weird.
Yep.
Everybody trying to get ready for their kids to go back to school, but it's going to be very important that I really think the state needs to make sure that people know there's another election. But that's going to be the key, and we should pick up another Republican seat. And Tennessee redrew their districts. Louisiana's doing theirs. Mississippi's doing theirs. And we're finally fighting back.
Good.
I know people are just sick of Republicans sitting back and taking it.
Yep.
Well, that day's over.
Amen. Well,
good to hear.
Great seeing you. Great talking to you. And I've been, I think, just mellower in general of late. I had to give away, we had set up a scholarship in my mother's name for Montgomery Catholic after she passed. And I was telling the folks over there, gave it to two beautiful, brilliant young women, $2,500 scholarships. And I was telling them that, like, you can learn so much more from prayer than from books. That's no excuse not to study, but so much more from prayer than the news. But I have found doing this gig, it also makes me a little more mellow. Sometimes I lose that edge maybe you want in talk radio, but I appreciate it.
I tell those students you don't want to wait till the math test to start praying.
Well said. Well, thank you, Congressman. Appreciate it, Gary.
Thanks, Joey.
Want to carry News Talk in your pocket? Download the News Talk 93.1 app from the App Store. Available on iPhone and Android. Never miss a moment. Download now.
Don't miss the River Region Healthy Living Expo happening Thursday, May 14th from 10 to 2 at the Shops at East Chase. From senior health to total wellness, it's all here and admission is free. Learn more in the Check It Out section at WAKA.com.
This hour of News and Views is brought to you by our good friends at Cole Plumbing, 279-8919. Cole Plumbing is number one in the number two business. You don't have to dig a hole. They have proprietary pipelining technology. Ask them about their tankless water heaters. Remember, when you have trouble with your bowl, call on Cole.
News and talk without the static. The River Region's most trusted voice. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back. Time to talk to one of our great sponsors, Ray Bowles from Prattville Carpet. Hey, Ray, how you doing?
I am doing great today. How about y'all?
Good. Talking to Congressman Gary Palmer there. It was a good hour.
I know. I hate that. He left. I was going to see if we can get some appropriation money for flooring.
I told him I thought it was a good idea. It's a really good idea.
We'll spend it wisely, I promise.
We can start in the studio.
At least an office remodel.
Excellent idea.
You travel?
Or something. I mean, we travel. Yes, we do travel. I mean, for the right amount of money, I'll go to D.C. and replace this carpet.
Of course you will.
Yeah, we can do like a road trip, and y'all go with me.
Oh, we're going.
And we'll do the radio ad we're going to try to go to see Trump while we're up there. It could be a whole thing.
It could be. It could be a blast.
We've already all lived in jail, but
well, we've already got Tommy Tuberville there, and we've offered him flooring before too. So I feel like we got an in. You know, it's just a matter of putting those dots together.
I think we ought to do a road, make it the road show. That would be great.
Can we get like a mid-'80s RV that breaks down every
like a true Winnebago? Yeah,
it breaks down about every 100 miles.
The plush seats. Yeah.
So you know the congressman is in his car, and he's got about 25, 40 people he's got to return a phone call to.
Oh,
but
yeah.
He's listening.
Oh, yeah.
Congressman, we will come to your office and replace your floors for the right amount of money. This is like the Wheel of Fortune. But
Right
Joey's
amount
got to
of
come
money.
with it, and Eddie's got to come too.
And Congressman, I apologize. This is Ray Bowles. He's a great sponsor. He used to be on the city council in Prattville. He runs the library somehow, some there in Prattville now, but
right.
He's also awesome. His phone calls are awesome.
You know, when I was on the city council, somebody said, do you ever see yourself like going up and running for something like Congress? I said, no, I'd go to jail. I'd be so crooked. I'd be taking money left and right.
Yeah, because you'd be trying to get the right things done. So that's how you'd end up being
well,
crooked.
it was a news reporter. She's like, are you serious? I said, well, do you want me to lie to you? Because that's what politicians do. I'm trying to be honest.
Well, that's why you're out.
Honest, crooked politician. Yeah, I could not do it. Let me just sell carpet. I'm honest about my carpet. We're going to give you the best prices right out of the gate. And we're going to come in and treat you like family and just make it a fun experience all the way around. So if you need a floor, give us a call, 285-8117.
Again, that number is 285-8117, and be sure to tell them you heard Ray Bowles on the radio with Joey and Eddie.
Guys, y'all have a great day.
You too, Ray. See you, bro.
And before I forget, also this part of the program brought to you by Josh and Leslie Ryder there.
That's right,
Dylan
Rings.
And, you know, Mother's Day is like
3 days?
This weekend.
2 days, 3 days, yeah.
Yeah. So maybe get over there now, like right now.
Really
Drive over to 119 Brown Springs Road right now. I'm not joking. Like, don't wait. You're going to mess up if you wait. Get by Dylan Rings, and they have great stuff in stock. Beautiful pieces that mom's going to love that they can walk you through. If high-end pieces to everyday jewelry, but you can find something that really is going to make it a special Mother's Day. Or it could be maybe you take mom in tomorrow and you make it like a custom project. You know, it's going to be, won't be ready by the day necessarily.
Yeah.
Maybe. I mean, Josh can do some magic, but
the whole thing of that,
like do it with her,
Yeah.
a project with her, for instance. Maybe it's
Everybody's
been a
mom
while
would
since
love
you've
that.
done something together. You see that the
Everybody's mom would love
obligatory family get-togethers, but you know, do something like that. They can help you there.
Or, Joey, okay, let me ask you this. What if it's a mother-to-be? Do you get the mother-to-be a Mother's Day gift? I got to go with yes.
Yeah, I think so. I think you do. And of course, you can clean up mom's jewelry with
Yeah.
a spa treatment or
Definitely.
get repair work done. Yeah, you saw the tie too.
Yeah.
So y'all check out Dylan Rings, 119 Brown Springs Road here in Montgomery, just off of Atlanta Highway. And be sure to tell them that Joey and Eddie, those guys on the radio, sent you. Yeah, Greg Vidal's wearing a tie.
What's a sharp-dressed man going on here?
What are you doing?
Trying to set a good example for you, son.
Is there a job interview somewhere I don't know about?
Get rid of that beard and cut that hair. And look like a real pro.
Thank you.
I know what you did in the 70s. Anyway, stay tuned. Happy Hour with Greg's next.
Broadcasting from the Riverside Chevrolet Master Control Center, this is WACV Cusana, News Talk 93.1 FM. When it's Chevy, it's Riverside.
With SRN News, I'm Bob Agnew in Washington. U.S. jobless claim applications were up last week, but they remain at historically